I'm having a bit of a crisis over here. My Google Docs has gotten out of dark mode, and I'm very concerned. Guys, welcome in, welcome in. We've hit the mother load in terms of helping fill out the timeline a little bit with the Tyler Robinson narrative before, during, and after the Charlie Kirk event in Orem, Utah on September 10th. And I want to run through it tonight because I think it helps identify, at least fill out a little bit for us, what was Tyler Robinson doing in the hours leading up to the Charlie Kirk event and the hours after the Charlie Kirk event. For example, he went a couple of places that were weird to me. And we'll talk about those. I don't know if you watched Candace tonight. Battle bun activated. There was I thought she showed remarkable restraint. Again, good cop. She's a good cop. I got to ask her about the good cop, bad cop merch because it becomes more and more apparent to me every single time this happens where she goes and plays good cop for an hour. I have to come on here and play bad cop for 4 hours. But we'll get there. We're going to get through this. I've got a fun opening that's going to answer some questions around the Fed sloppiness and the constant desire to consume large quantities of Fed slop and perhaps why they do that. I talked a little bit about that last night when we talked about how Fed sloppers have a little cognitive dissonance. And so we'll cover all that and more. It's going to be a fun night. We're going to look back in time. If we have time at the end of the show, we're going to look back in time and answer the question, who all lived with Erika Kirk? After all, she claims she was raised by a single mother. The house sounds pretty crowded for a single mother. So we'll get to that as well. And it's not who you think. It's not only who you think. I was told, but Baron, can you wait 2 minutes after going live to allow other people to join? Yeah, I can. I don't want to because I like to get right into it, but I can. I have the countdown that's 2 minutes. Jeepers creepers, Mr. Peepers. So that's one thing. I am Baron Coleman. Don't forget the like button on the way in. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't make me beg by the end of the show. Don't make me beg. I did find something hilarious. Let me say this. This will buy us a minute for the people who want extra time to join. We had some complaints. By one of our most diligent Charlie Kirk researchers. We had some complaints, and those complaints were about the super chats. Hey, this guy takes super chats. Yeah, we do. I have a Q&A with people. There's no doubt about it. This is a listener-supported program. We don't do advertising here. So listener-supported program. I can't guarantee we always will do that, but for now, it seems to be working just fine. And it was funny to me because this person who criticized us for it had Gray Hughes on his program constantly bashing your humble host. Believe it or not, people would bash your humble host. Well, somebody did. And while they were bashing your humble host, I thought, let me check this guy out. Who is this guy? I found hours of footage of this guy begging online for money, like begging, like holding listeners hostage. If you don't give me money, I'm going to shut the stream down. I'm going to stop reporting. That's the guy you prefer over your humble host? Taking Q&A from his audience? All right. I'll stop. That's unbecoming of me. I apologize, ladies and gentlemen. It will not happen again. It'll probably happen again, but it won't happen again tonight. I can assure you that. So let me dig into the opening here. Let me find it first. What do I do with it? There it is. They're open. This is a fun open. It's a tragic open. It's an open that makes me sad that these facts exist in reality that I have to give them, but it helps us, I believe, answer a question of why this cognitive dissonance persists when it comes to the Fed sloppers. And so we will answer that question and then dig into the content tonight, which I find fascinating. 16 additional search warrants have been located, 16 total, 14 additional. We knew about the 2 that had been released the last couple of days. Your humble Daisy was out there digging around and found 14 more search warrants. And they give us, again, additional facts on who was where, when, and what were they doing. So let's get into this with the opening as usual, or per my text, as Tyler Robinson might say. Here is your opening statement. I did a little longer today because last night I missed it when I was scrubbing. One of the main problems Fed slop slurpers have with being fair and impartial to a criminal suspect is the apparent instinct they have to believe everything that comes from the government. They swallow it like a ravenously starving German shepherd does with a fresh can of Alpo. They consume it as quickly as possible. They question nothing and then lick the bowl. In other words, the Fed sloppers don't know it's Fed slop. To them, it's the most delicious and satisfying thing they've ever had. We discussed in an opening statement a few weeks ago several instances where people were wrongfully convicted. The Fed sloppers ignore such real-world evidence. In their zeal to fry a particular suspect, they reduce the cognitive dissonance they should experience when their zeal comes face-to-face with the fact that people can be wrongfully accused. But it's actually just worse than that. It's worse than just people who are wrongfully accused. The real crime occurs when the Fed sloppers ignore the very real-world evidence where people not only get wrongfully accused, they actually get framed. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of examples tonight. The first is a case called the soup can case. The soup can case, like a Campbell soup can. The soup can case comes from Baltimore, and it stands as one of the most glaring examples of police misconduct aimed at framing someone ever captured in the era of body-worn police cameras. January 24, 2017. Baltimore police officer Richard Pinheiro Jr. responded to a tip about possible drug activity in an alley behind a row house. What should have been a routine search turned into self-incriminating footage that exposed evidence planting, led to wrongful jailing of an innocent man, and forced the dismissal of dozens of cases, and ultimately resulted in Officer Pinheiro's criminal conviction. Here's how it happened. The body-worn camera footage was released by the Maryland Office of the Public Defender on July 17. This footage tells the story in all its shamefully horrific detail. The video begins with Officer Pinheiro holding an empty soup can. And in this empty soup can, you can see a clear plastic baggie stuffed with white capsules. The capsules, of course, were suspected to be heroin or some other controlled substance. In full view of at least two other officers, he walks down the narrow alley and places the can among piles of rubbish and debris. He then leads the group back out to the street. There, he activates his body-worn cameras. He announces he's going back to check the area, returns to the alley. Surprise! After a perfunctory 15 or so second search, he picks up the exact same soup can, pulls out the baggie, and triumphantly displays the capsules to his colleagues and to his body-worn camera. He declares he's found drugs. Easy peasy, right? What Pinheiro didn't know was that Baltimore Police Department's body-worn cameras had a standard 30-second pre-recording buffer, meaning even when the cameras were off, they captured video and audio leading up to the moment of activation. This feature was designed to preserve context for accountability. Instead, it documented the entire planting sequence. The officer had essentially recording himself plant the drugs. He later submitted the footage to the department's evidence management system and didn't know he was recorded planting the drugs. The victim was a Baltimore man. He was arrested that day on drug possession charges. He was unable to post the $50,000 bail, so he spent approximately 7 months in jail waiting trial. The planted evidence, of course, formed almost the entire case against him. Without the body cam revelation, he very likely would have faced conviction and a lengthy sentence. The scandal broke when public defenders were conducting routine review of the materials and spotted the footage. They immediately notified the prosecutors in the state attorney's office. That was Marilyn Mosby. You may remember her. She made waves a few years ago. Charges against the arrested man were obviously dropped and he was released. But the fallout extended far beyond just that one case. Her office, State Attorney Mosby, her office scrutinized every matter before them that involved Pinheiro and the two other officers that were present, and they identified credibility issues and tainted testimony in cases relying on those officers as witnesses. By late July 2017, Mosby announced the dismissal of 34 additional cases, mostly felony gun and drug cases. Another 77 to 123 cases were under review. I'm getting mixed numbers, so I just included them both in there, with dozens more ultimately dropped or not pursued. In total, the scandal forced prosecutors to abandon or reevaluate over 100 cases, some involving defendants who were already serving time. State Attorney Mosby emphasized that the justice system depends on the public confidence of uncorrupted evidence. And whenever any officer's credibility is at issue, they will not be moving forward. That's what she said. The move highlighted obvious systemic problems in Baltimore. And if you remember Baltimore in 2017, the Freddie Gray case, for context, was 2015. And so there were riots about the Freddie Gray case, and there were just an ongoing conversation that was taking place at the time. Pinheiro was suspended, and the other officers were placed on administrative duty. And then in January 2018, a grand jury indicted him on 2 counts of tampering. Prosecutors argued he willfully staged the video to deceive and that he knew it would be used in court. His defense was absurd. I just want to say that. There's no other word I can use to characterize his defense. His defense was absurd. He testified he had genuinely discovered the drugs, but he forgot to activate his camera. And he didn't want to face discipline for failing to follow department policy and record his search, so he claimed he simply recreated the search. He insisted it was an innocent mistake, and his attorney argued he had no intent to deceive. Obviously, the judge outright rejected the explanation. He was found guilty on both counts, and the judge described his actions as a willful use of his authority for his own personal gain and a deliberate attempt to deceive. She noted the officers were never trained or instructed to stage reenactments of evidence discovery. Pinheiro had submitted the footage without disclosure and was fully aware it would support a prosecution. The judge sentenced him to 3 years in prison, but she suspended those 3 years, and he got 2 years of probation on top of that. And an appeals court later upheld the conviction, and he reportedly remained on the force for some time afterwards, obviously raising issues about what's going on in Baltimore. But the case strikes me as even more outrageous for the fact that the soup can wasn't some complex corruption involving payoffs or conspiracies. It was a stupid, low-level drug bust. It did not require some sophisticated cover story or some intricate scheme to frame a high-profile defendant. Ultimately, the case fell apart because of the body-worn camera footage. And I guess it's ironic that body-worn camera footage is meant to protect the public from police misconduct and actually did the job. But it was a sloppy frame job. And it may be, in fact, the sloppiest frame job of all time. If not, it's right up there with the Sloppy Frame Job Hall of Fame. But consider the following case, the next case, where the frame job wasn't just illegal, it was, but it almost succeeded because of how difficult it was to discover. The defendant's name was John Thompson. John Thompson was nearly executed by the state of Louisiana. He was saved, but only at the last minute, in a desperate last-minute discovery. In 1985, John Thompson was charged with 2 separate crimes, an attempted robbery and an attempted murder of a guy named Ray Luza. Actually, attempted robbery and a murder of a guy named Ray Luza. Prosecutors in Orleans Parish District Attorney Harry Connick Sr.'s office tried the robbery first. If that name sounds familiar or somewhat familiar, it's because Harry Connick Sr. is the father of the famous actor and singer Harry Connick Jr. During the investigation, a blood-stained sample from a victim's pant leg was collected and taken for testing. The crime lab report revealed the robber's blood type was type B. It's important to note defendant Thompson has type O blood. This obviously is conclusive proof he was not the perpetrator. The case should have been immediately dismissed. But because we're talking about it in the context of famous frame jobs, you can probably guess what happened next. Instead, buried deeply in an archive of the file is evidence where one prosecutor in the office checked the blood sample out of the evidence room. Surprise! It vanished and was never returned. The lab report itself was even suppressed and never disclosed to the defense. It absolutely should have been. Under Brady, it absolutely should have been. The robbery conviction that was secured without the exculpatory blood evidence prevented Thompson from testifying in his own defense at the subsequent murder trial. because he would have been impeached. Or it was a smart decision. Let's just accept that. He was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death in 1985. He spent the next 18 years in prison. 14 years he spent on death row at Angola in solitary confinement. In fact, he came within weeks of execution on multiple occasions. By April 1999, his seventh and final execution date was just 30 days away. In a fit of total desperation, his legal team hired a private investigator for one final push just to make sure they hadn't missed anything. The private investigator was combing through dusty files at the New Orleans Police Crime Laboratory and stumbled upon a microfiche copy of the long-buried 1984 blood lab report. Obviously, Thompson was tested again, confirming his type O blood, and this single discovery unraveled the entire case. The robbery conviction was vacated, and with that conviction gone, he could finally testify in his defense of the murder trial. There was additional suppressed evidence that came to light, including conflicting witness statements. In 2003, a jury acquitted him of the murder. They only deliberated 35 minutes. Folks, that is so fast. That is long enough to get in there, get a drink of water, elect a foreman, and vote. He walked free after 18 years behind bars. And here's the key. The suppression was not an accident. The prosecutors knew about the blood test results. They hid them. They lied to convict an innocent man. One former assistant district attorney later provided an affidavit admitting intentionally withholding the evidence. Thompson sued the DA's office, and a jury awarded him $14 million, $1 million for every year he spent on death row. A jury even found a pattern of Brady violations in State Attorney Connick's office. However, the landmark 2011 Supreme Court case, Connick versus Thompson, weighed in on the case, and the majority shamefully ruled in a 5-4 decision that the office could not be held liable without proving a specific policy or custom of inadequate training, despite the fact that they actually admitted they lied to convict an innocent man. For his part, Thompson went on to lead a pretty good life. He became a vocal advocate for criminal justice reform. He ultimately died in 2017 at the tender age of 55. That age is becoming younger every year, I can assure you. But his case is a nearly perfect example of how quietly and effectively defendants can be framed. His conviction survived routine appeals and reviews and only collapsed when an investigator dug through dusty microfiche files in panic and desperation. Without that near miracle find, the state likely would have executed a completely innocent man. And it's precisely because of cases like this that I'm very slow to publicly condemn someone who stands accused of a crime. I'm even slower to publicly condemn someone when there appears to be obvious holes in the investigation. Tonight, we'll talk about a few more of those holes in the investigation into whether Tyler Robinson was the one who killed Charlie Kirk. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, your opening statement. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. Those are wild stories. I think if you frame someone for a crime, you should be subjected to the maximum sentence that person would have received, up to not the death penalty, but up to including life in prison without parole. You frame someone for murder, you never walk the streets again. You never get to go home and see your family. It's got to be discouraged. Can't just be that the state pays you money. That's taxpayer money. Why are we paying for our own people's corruption? All right. I want to get into a few things here because we have uncovered a motherload of new documents in this case. I want to show you some of them. Not going to go through all of them, obviously, but we will begin to show you a timeline of quite a few of them. Here's an affidavit for a search warrant for Tyler Robinson. Here's what the search warrants look like: an affidavit for search warrant, and then there's the search warrant draft at the bottom. And it goes through all of the different facts here. So you get all these facts. We've gone over these. We've looked at them. We talked last night about some of the facts that were different in this case, that appeared different from previous cases, and we'll get into some of those tonight. But what they were looking to do was, with this, test the exterior of Tyler Robinson for any trace forensic evidence and physical evidence that is located inside or on the suspect's person for identification and comparison. That may include fingerprints, palm prints, major case prints, hair, fiber, biological fluids such as blood, saliva, sweat, and buccal swabs. Oh, no, don't hit him with the buccal swab. Lord have mercy. The man's been through enough. A buccal swab? What is a buccal swab? I need to look that up. For photographic documentation, physical evidence may include, but may not be limited to, receipts, clothing, electronics devices, and identification cards. So let's look through here and see if we can find the time this was submitted. This was submitted at 4:31 a.m. 4:31 a.m. on the morning of September 12. You know, the timeline has become an issue. It was granted, hold on, return to search warrant. Here. It was granted at 4:41 a.m., meaning they woke up the judge. It woke up the judge. That's the bad part of being a judge, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes you got to get woken up in the middle of the night for the old search warrant. So they submit it at 4:31. The judge reviews it for all of 10 minutes and grants the search warrant at 4:41 a.m. Not an unusual timeline. Don't want to make a big deal out of the timeline for that. But here's what I want to make a big deal out of the timeline of. We proposed last week. Candace doubled down on it today on her show, if you saw her. We proposed last week that Tyler Robinson was first Mirandized in Washington County, Utah, 6:25 p.m. on the night of September 11th. I believe that's correct. All the context clues point to that. The timeline makes sense because if he's Mirandized at 6:25, that means he showed up about that time. That means people from Utah County, from Provo, from Orem, from Salt Lake City would have had 3.5 hours or so to drive from their location to Washington County and pick him up. Indication was that he was picked up by them at 10 p.m. He was arrested by Brian Davis of the Utah State Bureau of Investigation at 10 o'clock. But people contested that, and they said, but Baron, is it possible that 6:25 p.m. was actually September 12th? Well, I think this is more evidence the answer is no. It's not possible. And here's why. They're giving him a buccal swab. I don't even know what that means. Let me look it up. What is a buccal swab? Buccal swab. Sounds bad. Oh, it's non-invasive. A painless method used to collect DNA from epithelial cells on the inside of the cheek. Well, that sounds invasive. I don't want anyone swabbing my cheeks. All right. So they're giving him the old buccal swab. Swabbing his cheeks, taking his fingerprints, taking his palm prints. Do you think they're doing this without the guy ever having been Mirandized? They've not Mirandized. What if he's in the buccal swab machine? What if they're hitting him with the old buccal swab? And he blurts out a confession. Because from what I can tell, and I'm going to contest this idea that he's confessed, I keep looking through these documents looking for a confession. The closest thing I have to a confession is a letter written to Lance Twiggs that was burned. Allegedly, a photograph survived of it, but it was burned. That's the closest thing I can find to a confession. I can find implied confession. He implied to his parents he may have done it. We don't put people in prison. We don't put them to death for implications. We don't put them to death because they implied they did something. We get confessions or we provide evidence that they did it. So that's, problem one. But problem two here is you want me to believe that they now have taken the palm prints, taken the fingerprints, they've done the buccal swab, and they just leave them on the rack from 4:41 a.m. when they're getting a warrant to buccal swab him for 12 hours till 6:25 p.m. when somebody's like, yeah, hell, I guess we should get around to asking him if he wants to put a statement on the record, see if he wants to confess. No, friends. When someone's in the mood to confess, you get him to confess. You get him to confess immediately. You don't wait. You don't want them to change their mind. The case changes instantly when you confess. It's a whole new ballgame when a defendant confesses. If you're told, if you're the Washington County Sheriff and you say, hey, he implied to his parents he did this, you get him on the record immediately. Did you do it? Oh, you don't want to talk with that lawyer? Okay. Fair enough. You don't let someone linger around for 22 hours or so. You don't buccal swab them and then let them linger around for 12 hours or so. More than 12 hours, 14 hours. It's just nonsensical. 6:25 p.m. was September 11th. I'm convinced. And I'm more convinced that the defense wouldn't have put that time in there if they didn't want us to know. Because the time is irrelevant. Time is wholly irrelevant. Because they didn't put a date. They just put the time. So that is the first piece of our timeline. Now, I want to show you a couple of other of these search warrants. I'm not going to show you all 16 of them. They all kind of look the same. This is an affidavit for the search warrant of, this is his home, right? Yeah, for the home of Tyler Robinson and Lance Twiggeth. I think Twiggeth is a better name. Lance Doth Twiggeth. This is an affidavit for a search warrant here of the premises known as, that's an address, Utah, further described as a 2-story north-facing apartment unit with a white door and the number blank attached to the right side of the entryway. I can assure you we have unredacted copies, so we're being extra cautious with these and even probably over-redacting certain identifying information. And here is what they're looking for here. Certain property in evidence. This tells us what they have in evidence so far. Anything related to firearms, firearm components, ammunition, gunsmithing, photographs of the exterior and interior of the house, videos of the interior and exterior of the house, trace forensic evidence, physical evidence that's located inside or on the residence, trace forensic evidence that may include but not be limited to fingerprints, hairs, fibers, biologic fluids such as blood. Physical evidence may include but may not be limited to receipts, documents, clothing, backpacks, electronic devices, recorded data, and identification cards. Any other items, clothing, material, or shoes in the house that may contain evidence related to the homicide investigation. Specific clothing items include a blue-colored hat, sunglasses, a long-sleeve black shirt with a picture of an American flag and an eagle printed on the shirt, dark-colored jeans, white-gray shoes with white-colored shoelaces, consistent with Chuck Taylor Converse-style shoes. And then they go through again the facts. We'll get to this in just a minute. I want to point out right now, this is 7:18 a.m. September 12, 7:18 a.m. And the search warrant is approved at 7:32 a.m. So our Judge Windward, up all night, burning the midnight oil, approving warrants at 4 a.m., at 7 a.m. I don't know when the guy got to sleep that night. I hope he didn't have any important cases before him the next day. And here's why I want to point out the time on these before we get to the facts of what's in them. We know from other sources that they were in that house at 1 a.m. They were in the house at 1 a.m. They did not have a search warrant at 1 a.m. Now, that may or may not be important. But we know it's true. We know they were in the house at 1 a.m., and we know they didn't yet have a search warrant for the house at 1 a.m. The reason it may be important is anything they found in that house might get booted because they didn't have a search warrant. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution gives you the right to be secure in your occupancy of your home without a warrant. If they don't have a warrant, you are secure. They can't come looking around. Now, there are things that can defeat that requirement. This is Law School 101 for those of you that didn't go. You don't have to have a warrant for things like exigent circumstances. So if a guy runs into the house after committing a crime, or if he's in there holding someone hostage, you don't have to go wake up the judge and get a warrant to go in after him, right? It's an exigent circumstance. So that's number one. A second thing that can defeat the requirement for a warrant is consent. We doubt very seriously Tyler Robinson consented to a search of his home. It would be foolish to go in, assert your right to remain silent, and then allow them to search your home. This is a good time to remind everybody you do not have to consent to them ransacking through your car on the side of the road. You're allowed to say no. If they want to go get a warrant, they can, but you don't have to let them in. So if Tyler didn't give them consent, the only other person who legally could give them consent is the person who lives there, and that would be Lance. But as we discovered last night, Lance may not have actually lived there. If you were with us last night, we looked at some documentation in one of the search warrants where Lance was messaging back and forth with Tyler looking for an excuse to leave his parents' house. Is that evidence he didn't actually live with Tyler? Did he live with his parents, in other words? If he didn't live there, can he offer consent to search the place? It raises a lot of questions that if I'm the state, I don't want to have to answer. Because I have to now put Lance Twiggs on the stand, and I don't want to do that if I can avoid it. I think they're going to end up having to, but I think he'll make a lousy witness from what I understand. So that is search warrant number 2. Again, just timeline situations, just pointing out legal things that might come up down the road, just making sure we're all around. Now, this is an interesting one to me. Search warrant number 3. This is a search warrant for the Dodge Challenger of Tyler Robinson. Affidavit for search warrant. A 2013 Dodge Challenger with the license plate blank, the VIN number blank. Now, they're looking in here for firearms, firearm components, ammunition, gunsmithing. They want to take some photos. They want some trace forensic evidence with physical evidence located inside or on the vehicle, including prints, gunshot residue. That's interesting to me. Did they find any gunshot residue in the car? That would be, they went looking for it. Did they find it? We have some additional facts here, and we'll get to those in a minute. And again, the time, this was submitted the 14th of September at 5:44 p.m., a much more reasonable time for a judge to be awake to sign a search warrant at 6:09 p.m. So they didn't even get the search warrant for the car for 4 days. It's a little weird. They had the car. They knew where the car was. What was happening with the car between then and the search warrant? Why the delay? Why are we waiting? Your story is he drove this car to the scene of the crime and drove it away. Why are we waiting 96 hours to take a peek inside? It's weird to me. Very weird to me. I would think that car should have been ransacked in the hours immediately following. As soon as you discovered it was him, there's his car. Go get a warrant. We got a warrant for the apartment. Why not a warrant for the car? What's going on in the car? That worries me, that this car sat unsearched for 4 days. It worries me. So we will continue looking through these. I will give you a list now of some of the ones we are not going to show you. They got a search warrant for an iPhone 14. They got a search warrant for an iPhone 13. Oh, there was a second affidavit for the, okay. I apologize. I missed the first one. There was a first affidavit for the Challenger on September 12th. Okay, yes. Good call. Good catch. And the second affidavit was September 14th. So they did get one in the immediate aftermath. Okay. Now I'm no longer worried, ladies and gentlemen. All right. iPhone 14, iPhone 13. We saw the Discord server last night. We saw that one. A Tyler Robinson Verizon device. Don't know what that is. Lance's Verizon records. Another Verizon device from Tyler Robinson. Why does he have so many Verizon devices? A phone from Verizon, a Verizon phone. A random one for electronics. And what's interesting about the electronics one, I'm not going to pull it up because it's not redacted, but it lists a whole bunch of electronic devices that they're looking for that they wanted to seize. I guess they looked when they were in the home at 1 a.m. And only one of them would have had a keyboard. There were tablets, there were laptops. Only one of them would have had a keyboard. There was a computer tower they wanted to seize. I'm interested that they didn't want to seize the keyboard, but that's neither here nor there. Then we have Tyler Robinson's Google account. That one is there. Oh, I do have the electronic one redacted. I'll grab that in a second. Now, here's one I want to show you because This would blow the case wide open. This would blow the case wide open. Did you know? I did not know until I saw this, that Tyler Robinson had a dash cam pointed at his face the whole time. A black colored Van True dash camera with a serial number blank, and the removable micro SD card that may be inserted into the dash camera unit. Now, thankfully, Terrell Farnsworth never got a hold of this car, because as we know, Terrell Farnsworth has a nasty habit of snatching SD cards from crime scenes and absconding with them. Requesting to search the Van True dash camera and the removable micro SD card that may be inserted into the Van True dash camera unit. Electronically stored information, digital files, video files, any video or audio recordings, downloads or copies, all GPS mapping and coordinates, including historically archived information. This is fascinating to me. Now, in this, it mentions, we'll get to that in a second. In this, it mentions that the dash cam, though, was unplugged when they found it. Now, I don't know how long it had been unplugged. Maybe Tyler just unplugged it for the big event. Maybe he unplugged it after the big event. Maybe he never plugged it in. I don't know. But it was an interesting fact to me that there is a dash cam, and it indicates it records forward and into the car. There's a dual dash cam. I don't know that I want something recording in my car all the time, but there it is. And it had audio and video. So everything he said, everywhere he went, would be on camera if this thing was plugged in and recording. That'll be an interesting set of facts. Those are the kind of facts that could change my mind if they looked bad. But it said it was unplugged. I don't know when it was unplugged, but we'll get back to that in just a moment. And then we have the quantum fiber internet. And they have usernames and stuff associated with it, account log history, all that kind of stuff. So apparently they're wanting to go after Tyler Robinson's internet stuff. So let me back out of this. So we have, and then Tyler Robinson's Apple account and also Lance's Apple account. So all of these search warrants are available. They're all public. You have to know where to find them, but they're all there. They're all there. My question is this. With all this material supposedly retrieved by the police, the feds, you would think their case would be very strong. You would think that those electronic devices would just be riddled with evidence of this crime. It is redacted, so I'm going to show you the electronic ones because this is a fascinating one. It gives you an idea of just how much evidence may actually be in their possession. HP Stream tablet found in the spare bedroom, an iPad found in the dining room area, a MacBook Air laptop found in the dining room area, a computer tower. This is the one that I think would have the keyboard. A computer tower, item found in the southeast bedroom of the apartment, a cell phone with a Raspberry Pi device. That's a really weird thing to have. Sorry. I only know a few people that have Raspberry Pi devices. I apologize if I'm stepping on any toes here. They're weirdos. The people that have them are total weirdos. Now, I know you guys are going to tell me, I've got a Raspberry Pi and I use it for a very non-weird reason. Contrary. All contrario. All contrario. People with Raspberry Pi devices are weirdos. But it was found in the dining room area, USB on a backpack, and an SD card and a hard drive. A random hard drive was found in the dining room area. So, again, you want to commit the crime of the century. You want to take this crime to your grave. We discovered last night that he texted absolutely anyone who would listen. He talked to anyone he ran into and told them and confessed to the crime, allegedly. Except the police, except once he got taken into custody, then all of a sudden he wanted to clam up. I wonder on these devices just how much information is present. Let's look briefly at the time of this. This was not requested until the 14th day of September, 4 days after the crime. 2 more than 2 days after they had access to the house. I would think you would want to take these into possession pretty quickly and begin looking at them. But apparently the state of Utah wanted to wait, 60 hours or so before they submitted an affidavit for a search warrant on these. So that is that's sort of the ones I want to go through. Now, let me pull up a little bit of a timeline here. Let me pull up a timeline. This timeline will help us understand what facts are available to us in this new search warrant. What is it we're able to find in this search warrant? So let me click on this, make this a little smaller so that your words here are as big as possible. I know I hate doing this with small words, but if I don't, we're unable to fully show you everything we want to show you. Here is a new timeline that we have for Tyler Robinson based on these documents, and I'll click on them when necessary. 8:28 a.m. We're told in one of these search warrants, the new search warrant for the Dodge Challenger, we're told that at 8:28 a.m., Tyler Robinson in his Dodge Challenger entered a UVU parking structure located on Campus Drive. And that from 8:30 to 9:23, 53 minutes, Robinson parked, exited his vehicle, and walked around campus. Seen visiting areas such as a wooded area near where the rifle is later recovered and a site where it says victim was shot, but we'll say a site from where somebody was seen. I guess that's the Losi Center is what they're talking about. He continued walking around campus and returned to his vessel at 9:24 a.m., and then he leaves the parking lot structure at 9:32 a.m. And when he did, he traveled northeast from the campus, which is the direction from which he is later observed walking toward the campus prior to the shooting. So this is all new information in gory detail off of the Dodge Challenger affidavit, which I will pull up now. Wish you would stop doing that. Please don't email that address. I'll block you. Okay. If we scroll down here, we see here's the new information we have. Agent Mortensen reviewed Utah Valley University security video footage, discovered Robinson's Challenger entering UVU parking structure located on Campus Drive at approximately 800 West at 0828. After entering the structure, he parked, exited his vehicle, walked around campus till 0924. When he returned to his car, in the video, he's seen wearing a ball cap, a red t-shirt, light-colored shorts, and Converse-style tennies. He's got some tenny runners on, guys. During that time, he walked around campus. He's seen visiting areas such as a wooded area near where a rifle is later recovered and the site where the victim was shot. Robinson leaves the parking structure, returns to his vehicle at 0932, traveled northeast from the campus, which is the direction from which he's later observed. So that is how the structure reads. Now we get into something very interesting. This is absolutely new information. I have not seen this reported anywhere. If it's someone else has reported it, I missed it. If you go to the quantum fiber, and we'll do that in just a second, Google Maps route with a time starting at approximately 12:46 p.m., the starting point near the Mountain Shadows Shopping Center. Now, I want to remind you guys, if you've been watching diligently, you've seen this before. If not, I'll tell you what happens. I'm not going to pull it up and show you for time. But after the Big Bang took place at 12:23, we see video footage of a guy, allegedly a guy, it could be anyone, a very small character, scampering across the rooftop, scaling down the side of the building like Spider-Man, dropping 15 feet, landing in a puddle, hopping up and running away. That was at 12:23 to 12:24-ish. 23 minutes later, we find Tyler Robinson's car at a shopping center. Actually, it was like 21 or 22 minutes later when he showed up. He parked for a couple of minutes in the parking lot. We had no idea what he was doing. I think we now know what he was doing. He pops up in a shopping center and he appears lost. He appears lost. We made a big deal of the fact that he stopped in that shopping center. If you remember, it was like a DVD store or something, and it was looking out at the parking lot, and he was sort of in the back of the lot, and a white SUV circled around and pulled up behind him, and they drove off. Looks like together, right? I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know whether they were together. I don't know whether it was weird. We didn't see anybody walk to the white SUV. The person, from the time the camera started rolling for those 2 or 3 minutes that Tyler Robinson was stationary, no one entered or exited that vehicle. So we can only assume someone stayed in that car the whole time, which is a little weird. You get in the parking lot, you just sit in your car before you leave, whatever, maybe. But we saw that little tango take place. And we know that it took place between like 12:43 and 12:46. And we had no idea what was going on in Tyler Robinson's car. Why is he just parked there? What's he waiting on? And it made sense to us that he might have been waiting on the white SUV that circled around and pulled up behind him. Now we know what he was doing. He was generating a Google map, direction, turn-by-turn directions via Google Maps. He was generating those from, I'll pull it up and we can look at it together. He was generating that from, here it is right here. I shall pull it up. He was generating that from the shopping center to a Quick Quack car wash located at 855 North State Street, Orem, Utah. That's what Tyler Robinson was doing in that parking lot. You remember Ryan Matta, I think, first had the video. He puts up the video. You see Tyler Robinson come to a pause. He stops. A white SUV pulls up behind him. They drive off together. And everyone's like, what the hell's he doing? He just committed the crime of the century. He just successfully pulled off the most high-profile political assassination in America in 62 years, and he drives to a DVD store and parks in a parking lot for like 2 or 3 minutes? What the hell's he going on in the car? This Google Maps result that the police are telling us they found, this would tell us what he was doing in the parking lot was pulling up directions to the Quick Quack. Everybody had to go to the Quick Quack. I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, when you pull off the highest profile political assassination in America in 62 years, what's the first thing you want to do? Abscond? Go back home? Stop leaving evidence all over town? Stop having your car videoed here and there? Is that what you would want to do? No, friend. That's not what Tyler Robinson does. Instead, he pulls up his phone and leaves yet more evidence about where he's been and where he's going, and pulls up directions to the Quick Quack car wash. Well, I wanted to see what the Quick Quack car wash looked like because he showed up there 11 minutes later. Because I will show you this real quickly. Just so you know I'm not making stuff up. Agent Draney with the Utah State Bureau of Investigation obtained records and video footage from the Quick Quack car wash of Tyler Robinson's 2013 Dodge Challenger with license plate XYZ arriving at the car wash at approximately 12:57 hours on September 10th. We've got a decision tree to make, folks. One of two things is true. Either Tyler Robinson's a lone wolf with a dirty car, and he can find no better time to go get a car wash than immediately after the highest profile political assassination in America in 62 years. I guess that's option A. Option B is he might want to hang out at the Quick Quack, because I'll show you what the Quick Quack looks like on a map. And you might answer the question yourself of what is it precisely Tyler Robinson was doing at the Quick Quack? Why would he be going to the Quick Quack? Here is the Quick Quack. You'll see here cars lining up to go into the Quick Quack. And then they come around after getting washed off and they park under these things here in order to vacuum themselves out. While you're in here, you are impervious to being seen. And while you are under here, you are hidden from satellite photography. If he was not working alone, this would be a wonderful place to meet immediately after the highest profile political assassination in 62 years. Let me pull it up from a different angle, let you guys see even more about what the Quick Quack car wash looked like at Orem, Utah. This will give you probably a better understanding of what I'm talking about. This is the Quick Quack from different angles. Obviously, we could go back to September 10th. We don't have to. But you come in here and notice you can't see these cars. You can't really see what kind of cars they are. You can't really tell who's under there. If you go to different angles, you can't see anything about what's going on in these cars. You can't see who's talking, who's standing outside their cars. You're kind of shielded. And it's a great place if you do want to stand outside your car and talk after the highest profile political assassination in 62 years, because you'll notice people are standing outside their cars with their doors open. See that? There's a guy right there standing outside of his cars with his door open. Here's a guy standing behind his truck. I don't know if that's what he was doing, but I think it raises a question. It should raise a question in everyone's mind. Why was he so eager to go wash his car? What was he doing? And why that particular car wash? He's not from Orem. He doesn't know where the Quick Quack is. That's weird to me. That's a weird fact that popped up out of these. The weird fact to me that popped up out of these. Where is my... Oh, here it is. Now, let's go back because we have more on our timeline, believe it or not. Go back to the Dodge Challenger. The Dodge Challenger subpoena, if we go back to it, we find something else we didn't know before tonight. Because after he leaves the parking structure and all that, okay. According to Special Agent Payton with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. So the FBI is now providing information. According to Special Agent Payton, not Manning, different Payton, with the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the owner of the home located at blank contacted police and advised that he had captured video on his Nest doorbell camera, a Dodge Challenger parked across the street from his home. The vehicle initially parked at approximately 1247 hours on September 11th and left at 0135. Now, I'm going to suggest to you this is probably a typo of somebody who's trying to use 24-hour time and doesn't know how. Because if we're to believe this, then he had a time machine because he actually left before he arrived. My guess is this is 12:47 a.m., which should be 0047 hours on September 11th, which means Tyler Robinson was still in Orem, Utah in the middle of the night, according to this. And I have more evidence that this might be accurate. Let this soak in. Let this sink in, because when I show you something in a moment, you're going to go, huh? What? How's that work? Some of you may have already be thinking it. The vehicle was still in Orem, Utah after midnight and did not leave Orem, Utah until 1:35 at the earliest. What do we know about what Tyler Robinson's plans were after the Big Bang? I take you back in time, ladies and gentlemen, to our principal. We will show you our principal reported on where Tyler Robinson went in the immediate aftermath. And we noticed the feds weren't very interested in finding Mr. Robinson. at this location. I will let our principal take it away. I'll put it on closed captioning for those of you who don't hear very well. She says, which is why I was very surprised to learn
of what Tyler Robinson did thereafter. Ready? Tyler Robinson, we can exclusively confirm to you all, drove 3 hours away from Orem, Utah, down to Panguitch, Utah. I hope I'm saying that right. A lot of the cities sound weird. I think it's Panguitch, Utah. I'm showing you a map of that distance. It is just...
I can confirm one thing she's saying here without a doubt. A lot of the cities sound weird. A lot of the cities in Utah sound weird. They're words I've never heard, but Panguitch is one of them.
Under 3 hours to get there. And what was he doing there? You're probably wondering, did he meet up with somebody? No, he was alone. And what we can tell you that he did when he got there was that he pulled into the Cowboys Smokehouse on North Main Street. He grabbed himself a seat at the bar at this steakhouse, and he ordered himself some more food. Specifically, Tyler Robinson ordered a steak, medium rare, with mashed potatoes and vegetables. There were 3 servers that were working that night. And then after news exploded the following day and people began obsessively sharing, of course, the photo of the suspect, Tyler Robinson, having been captured after 33 hours, well, one of the servers recognized him as the person that was sitting at the bar the night before. So they decided to huddle up with management and said, no, that person, Tyler Robinson, he was here. He was eating a steak. He was eating mashed potatoes. Management said, are you sure? Are you positive that Tyler Robinson said, yes, I'm absolutely sure. Well, they don't have any cameras at this restaurant. So what they decided to do was to verify that he was in the building, not by, of course, consulting outdoor video footage, which they didn't have access to, but rather just looking through credit card charges. Because Tyler Robinson, despite telling his roommate how he wanted to get away with this, remember the messages and like, oh, here's what happened. I don't want anybody to know. Make sure you delete this letter that's under the keyboard, but take a picture of it before you delete it, but read it and then destroy it. He's trying to get away with this crime. Well, he used his credit card. That's how they found it. And so what they did was the right thing. They contacted the feds. Now, that's interesting because I would imagine that after 33 hours, when they sort of gloriously come out and yeehaw, we got him, I would have, and call me crazy, I don't know how this stuff works. I'm not an expert, right? We're not experts, but I would imagine the first thing that they would do is that they would probably just try to figure out where he'd been. And maybe one way they would do that would be going through his credit card charges. I would imagine the federal government had that capability. They didn't do that. Instead, they were contacted days later by this restaurant. The server filed a report responsibly and said, yeah, he was here. We have the literal receipt, And they explained that Tyler Robinson was not very talkative. He seemed absolutely fine and normal and was texting on his phone. Maybe that's when he was sending more messages to his lover as he was eating a steak. He was sure hungry, is what I would say, but calm nonetheless. He didn't have the jitters. He wasn't scared. He was just hungry. Now, what's fascinating to me is what happens after, because again, I'm expecting that the feds would go, well, let us get down there. Let us get down to Panguitch. Let us start interviewing everybody. Let's start checking all these cameras around here to see if we've got them. No, that's all they did. They sort of were obliged to call them back and to say, okay, what happened? And then that's it. The trail goes cold. Now, remember, I told you guys that I spoke with the lawyer.
Okay. Not just going to play her whole show, but I was kind of captivated because Tyler Robinson was in Panguitch at 8:45 p.m. He was rolling into Panguitch to get a medium rare sirloin, some vegetables, and a potato at 8:45 p.m. Panguitch is 3 hours south of Orem, Utah. It's an hour or so north of St. George, maybe an hour and a half. He's almost there. He's almost home. on the night of the Big Bang. But the FBI, the police, nobody wants to go to Panguitch and interview anybody. We've got all these 16 now search warrants that we know of, looking for all this camera footage. Always got camera footage from this house. Always got camera footage from this house. We even have camera footage of his car parked across from the, and I'll show you in a second where that was, parked right across from where the alleged weapon was allegedly recovered. I'll say all alleged because I think it's all BS. But we have Tyler Robinson on a doorbell camera from 12:45 a.m. to 1:30 in the morning in the middle of the night in Orem. But at 8:45, he's jonesing for a sirloin 3 hours south of there. The only way this would make sense is he piddles around Orem. He commits the crime of the century. He commits the crime of the century. He goes immediately to get his car washed. Can't be. What if he gets picked up in a dirty car? He'll be embarrassed. So he goes immediately to get a car wash. He then piddles around town for a little while longer. About 6:30 or so, he decides, man, I would love some chicken tendies and a Blizzard from Dairy Queen. So he goes to Dairy Queen. He gets spotted on camera at Dairy Queen. Glasses off, hat up. I mean, you plain as day. Spotted on camera at Dairy Queen. He then jumps in his car immediately from Dairy Queen. Had to, immediately from Dairy Queen. And drive 3 hours plus south to Panguitch. Now, to arrive in Panguitch at 8:45, he would have had to leave Orem by 5:45. He allegedly was on the Dairy Queen camera at 6:45, so he's just cut by a third the amount of time he had. And he just ate, but now he's eating again. He's a very hungry man for somebody who looks like he weighs 140 pounds soaking wet. So things start to be questionable. The timeline starts to break down. It's possible that was not Tyler Robinson at the Dairy Queen. If so, it raises the question, why would they put a doppelganger in Dairy Queen at 6:45 or 6:30, whatever time he was supposed to be there? So that's a little weird. Did he pay with a credit card at Dairy Queen? Or did he pay with cash? Did he use the same credit card? Because his credit card, I believe at 6:30, 6:45, was on its way south to Panguitch to get a steak at the Cowboys Steakhouse, where the serving staff recognized him and dug up and, in fact, saw his credit card receipt. It would also be interesting to see if they can do a handwriting match on that credit card receipt. Was that him? Or was someone tooling around in his vessel using his credit card in Panguitch? And then he's almost home. He's almost gotten away with the murder of the century. But instead of going home, and it seems like he was wanting to go home, right? He went to Panguitch after all. Who goes to Panguitch? You have to get off the interstate to go to Panguitch. Let me pull up a map here. The map does not go to Panguitch. If you're going to St. George, you don't go through Panguitch. You have to go to Panguitch. You have to get off the highway and make your way to Panguitch. Show you the map here if I can. It's kind of frozen on me. There we go. All right. So that's Utah Valley University up here. Oh, well, we got one. There we go. I can't see that, though, so let me do it. You got Utah Valley University up there. Way up here in this area up here. This is Cedar City, where he's seen getting gas at 7:15 in the morning. We'll talk about that in a second. Look, Panguitch is way off the highway. Like Interstate 15 would go right to St. George. If you're trying to get away with the crime of the century, that's a quick way to get home right there. But instead, he's all the way over here off of the highway in Panguitch. Now, he drives from all the way up here, all the way down here, 3 hours to Panguitch. But he's spotted on camera just a few hours later, all the way back up here. So he goes from here in Orem all the way down to Panguitch, all the way back up to Orem, and then all the way to Cedar City to get gas and then back home. Now you might see why they weren't so interested in establishing that he was in Panguitch. Because if they establish he's in Panguitch and it becomes public that he was in Panguitch, people start saying, well, what the hell was he doing in Panguitch? But let's continue our timeline because we have yet still more interesting facts to uncover. So let's go back to our timeline here. All right. So here we are. He is captured on the Nest doorbell camera leaving at 1:35. Wouldn't you know, he pulls up a Google Maps back to his house at 1:33 a.m. That's on this quantum fiber. That's on this quantum fiber one. So let's go back down here and look at this. I observed a second Google Maps route that had been stored on Tyler Robinson's device. The Google Maps route had a start time of 7:33 Zulu time. Do the conversion, it's 01:33 hours on September 11th. So at 1:33 in the morning, Tyler Robinson's car is spotted in front of a house. I'll show you that house in a second. It's spotted in front of a house. And he punches in his home because he doesn't know how to get home from here. Starting point was the neighborhood north of and in close proximity to the area where the aforementioned rifle was located at UVU campus. The Google Maps route is from the area near the UVU campus to, and then this is his home here. Investigators had previously conducted a records check and found that Tyler Robinson was residing at that address there. So now we know what he was doing. But it doesn't explain the Panguitch excursion. Doesn't explain the Panguitch excursion. Let me pull up a map here and show you where they say he was parked. Because it is an interesting place to park if you're trying to remain unseen. Because he's sitting right here in the middle of all this hubbub and chaos. Where is the campus? Oh, it's up here. All right. Yeah. He is. This is your Losi Center. This is where he allegedly fired a shot from this left-hand side of the Losi Center, scampers across the building, scales it like Spider-Man, drops 15 feet to the ground unharmed, almost like he was trained to drop to the ground from 15 feet, scampers up here, and this is where we lose him right here. We lose him right in this area right here. That's where the camera cuts off. They tell us he then ran into these trees right here. These trees, see this little structure right here? This is where they're telling us the weapon was found, near this structure, over here on this fence line near this structure. This is the house that captured him on the Ring doorbell camera right here. This is the house, which means he would have parked right here-ish because he was captured on the Ring doorbell camera footage. It means he'd have been parked right here-ish. Here's the problem I have with this. If he would have just turned down this drive here, he could have come into the back and parked back here. This is an unoccupied home. This is not a driveway to a home. This is university-owned property. It's under construction. No one is there at 1:30 in the morning. No one. This is absolutely vacant at 1:30 in the morning. Instead of doing the obvious thing and parking back here, and I have satellite footage of cars parking back here during the day, on the day of the Big Bang, so we know it's open and can be used. Instead of coming back here and not being seen, he instead parks right here, right in front of the house with a Ring doorbell camera footage. He's there for 45 minutes in the middle of the night, from 12:45 to 1:30 approximately. What they want us to believe is he's still worried about the rifle, which is located right here, just adjacent to this. Like he's up here where this 925 number is, somewhere parked over here in front of this doorbell. And they want us to believe for 45 minutes he walked back here, I suppose looking around for his rifle. I don't know. That's what they want us to believe, I'm assuming. And then back up to the street, gets in his car, sits in his car for 2 minutes, and has no idea how to get home. He has to get a Google Maps location. If Tyler Robinson had his phone on him during this timeline, he is the single dumbest criminal on the planet. Not only is he driving a car with an infotainment system that's logging everywhere he goes, he's carrying on him a geolocating spy device that betrays everywhere you go. Your phone tells anyone who gets your phone knows absolutely everywhere you've been. But just in case they're not sure, he wants to make sure he's putting in Google Map pins everywhere he goes. I don't know how to get to the quick quack, so I got to put in a Google Map pin. I don't know how to get home. What do you mean you don't know how to get home? Get home. It's 1:30 in the morning. It's not like traffic's a bother. Drive towards the interstate. Stop recording where you are. I am hard pressed to believe he's that stupid. Hard pressed to believe he's that stupid. But I want to go back to the timeline, because yet more stupidity arises, or more questions in the timeline arise. So where are we now? He has committed the crime of the century. He's driven to a DVD store. He parked for a couple of minutes in front of cameras to make sure everybody could see him. He punches in a Google Map pin, just in case you didn't know he was there, starting there to the quick quack to get a car wash, presumably. I don't know why else you would go to the quick quack there, or to meet up with someone, and he's supposedly a lone wolf. So we have to believe he just wanted to wash the car. That's what we want to believe. He just wanted to wash his car. He's a very clean man, very tidy. He leaves the quick quack, and we don't know where he goes. We lose him for a few hours. The next place we think we see Tyler Robinson is at the Dairy Queen, 6:30-ish. He's got a box of chicken tendies. You can see the box in his hand, and he's got a Blizzard in his hand. A very hungry assassin. Because he leaves the Dairy Queen and in record time makes it down to Panguitch. Record time, under 2 hours. He makes it to Panguitch. And he loads up on red meat, literal red meat, not like political red meat. I'm talking about red meat. Sirloin, medium rare. At least he knows how to eat his steak. He gets his sirloin down. And then the police want us to believe, even though he's just an hour from home, he turns around and goes back to Orem. He parks in front of a Ring doorbell camera. Gets out of his car for 45 minutes or so. Goes back into his car. And then punches in directions home. That's 1:33 a.m. They told us that the map was generated. 1:35 they see him pull off. It takes a little over 3 hours to get to his house. Maybe 3.5. I'll give him 4, right? Crime of the century. You don't want to get pulled over. You're driving extra slowly. 1:35 to 2:35 is 1 hour. To 3:35 to 4:35 to 5:35. By 5:35, he should be home. Shabbat shalom, the assassin's home. He should be kicking off his shoes, relaxing his feet, party on down to the SKP. He should be kicking it at 5:35 a.m., but that's not what we find. Not at all what we find. We find a gap. We find a gap. Because you guys remember, we have video footage from a gas station in Cedar City at 7:15 a.m., 7:17 a.m., getting gas. Okay, well, if he should have been home at 5:35, but he's an hour away from home at 7:15, we're missing 2.5 hours. And we know he didn't have plans to go somewhere else because he put in a pin to go home. He put the map at home. What was he doing for these 2.5 hours? Where was he going? Who was he meeting with someone? We also know from the dash cam affidavit that he was picked up by a license plate reader. Conveniently, he was picked up by a license plate reader about 1 minute before he gets gas, according to information obtained from the Utah Statewide Information Analysis Center. The license plate Utah blank, Robinson's Dodge Challenger, registered a license plate reader camera in Cedar City, Utah on 9/11 at approximately 07:16. So for some reason, it took him almost 6 hours to go 3 hours, maybe 3-ish hours. Took him almost 6 hours, 5 hours and 45 minutes to go just over 3 hours of highway time. It raises the question of where was he? But I notice what's missing in all this time. I notice what's missing, not just the law enforcement's apparent desire not to figure out what he's doing at the steakhouse. What's missing is any kind of text messaging to the love of his life, the one he would kill for, literally, about any of this movement. No, hey, I'm heading to the car wash. My car's dirty. Just pulled off a big assassination. I got to make sure there's no pollen on the new ride. No, it's not there. No mention of driving to Penguich to get a steak. No mention of a blizzard and some chicken tendies. No mention of heading back at 1 a.m. to presumably look for the weapon. None of this is mentioned. There's suspiciously absent text messages. And I just have to wonder if there's a reason for that. I go back to the opening with the withholding of certain evidence and the inclusion of evidence that's not true. The setting someone up on camera with a body-worn camera and the failure to disclose exculpatory evidence. And I just wonder, what's happening here? What's happening here? There's one final thing I want to show you here because this has made a lot of news, except I can't get it to pull up for whatever reason. It's because I already have it pulled up. No. For whatever reason, I can't get this. There it is. Part 1 to pull up. There's one more indication. Now, we have noticed, we've been told over and over and over that he confessed in writing. It's believed the address on blank is the primary. Oh, no, here's what I'm looking for. Excuse me. Additional information obtained from the interview conducted by FBI Special Agent Lang and Lance Twiggs indicated Tyler Robinson left a handwritten letter underneath a keyboard at the River Road residence for Lance. According to FBI Special Agent Lang, Lance told him the letter said something to the effect that he had shot Charlie Kirk and that he had a shot at Charlie Kirk and he was going to take it. In addition, according to FBI Special Agent Lance claimed he does not know where the letter is currently. Does not know where the letter is currently. So at least on that date, he didn't know where it was. But despite his not knowing where it is, we have a note here where it might be. So here are some things that were recovered, and among those are a burnt note found in trash. This is from the search warrant for the apartment. Burnt note found in trash, even though he didn't know where it was when they questioned him. And here are all the items that they allegedly got from the house. Hurley hat. Interesting, it's a Hurley hat, considering the pushback I got when I suggested the Dairy Queen photo was a Hurley hat. People said, no, it couldn't be a Hurley hat because the guy in the stairwell wasn't wearing a Hurley hat. He just had a white triangle hat on. You remember that? We had this whole discussion. I'll show you what the Hurley logo looks like real quick. This is the Hurley logo right here. That's the Hurley logo. That is not the logo that was on the hat in the stairwell. That is the logo that was on the hat in the Dairy Queen. And people kept saying, no, that's his nose pieces from his sunglasses. No, it's a Hurley logo. That's what it was. In other words, the hat at Dairy Queen was Hurley and the hat in the stairwell was not. It was a white triangle. Two different hats. I don't want to relitigate that. I want to go back to this document here, because this is a nice little rundown of everything they found in here. Hurley hat, computer tower, gray Converse shoes with white laces, astronaut web camera. Boy, don't we wish the people on Artemis 2 had an astronaut web camera. Would have been a lot more interested than watching them eat tomato soup. Documents, HP VR headset in box. Now, why are you stealing the man's VR headset? Old Navy jeans, Levi jeans, magazine and holster cartridges, blue folder with documents, 6 pairs of blue jeans, computer tower, black journal, notebook, school ID cards, Smith & Wesson pistol box. Are we thinking he might have used a pistol? Notebook, sunglasses, notebook, leather journal, 2 boxes Remington 30-06 cartridges. We did not know, ladies and gentlemen. We did not know what kind of 30-06. Remember, oh man, the Fed sloppers love this, guys. You can't tell. This is a Fed slopper. Fed sloppers are the best. Oh my gosh, I love them. I love them. They're so cute. They're so cute the way they do it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, says the Fed slopper, you can't possibly know what kind of round he fired. In order to know if the round would have gone through and through on the neck, you'd have to know, was it store-bought ammo? Was it hand-loaded ammo? Was it full metal jacket? Was it soft tip? Was it frangible? What was the grain? We know all that now. We know all that now. I'm looking at a arrest warrant, or a search warrant that says it was a Remington 30-06 cartridge. Does Remington make a 30-06 cartridge that is incapable of penetrating a neck? I doubt it. I doubt it. The whole point of a 30-06 is you can take down an elk or 2. Why on earth would Remington make a 30-06 cartridge that is incapable of taking down an elk or 2? Do your research. See if they make a weak 30-06 cartridge designed only to penetrate the front side of a human neck and to leave only a small trace of a fragment inside that neck without going out the back of it. I submit to you, this is pretty devastating to the Fed slop narrative. We continue. I can't wait to hear the Fed sloppers tell me why a Remington 30-06 cartridge doesn't go through a human neck. The soft part. And again, the angle would not hit the bones. It would go right through. It hit them on the side from the front. It would just keep going out the back. But now we know it's a 30-06. A plastic bag, 5 30-06 cartridge, 1 etched test shot. The guy even etched his test shot, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're to believe. That's the Fed slop narrative. That's the official story. So eager was he to make sure there was a calling card on the bullets used in the crime he wanted to take to his grave. He actually bothered etching the test shot. 15 cartridges, empty plastic Ruger gun box, Smith & Wesson magazines, revolver and holster, passport, 22 Henry rifle, 22 Winchester rifle, 22 Rossi long rifle, HP Stream tablet, boxes of ammunition, stick with electronics, 3 notebooks, Dremel tool, iPad, backpack, MacBook Air laptop, hard drive, cell phone with Raspberry Pi, Converse shoes with gray laces, USB on backpack. Interesting, they took 2 sets of Converse there. Didn't they say Converse had the white laces? Hold on. White gray shoes with white colored shoelaces. White colored shoelaces. White gray shoes. White gray shoes, white colored shoelaces. There, gray Converse shoes with white shoelaces. So they took gray Converse shoes with white shoelaces, but they also took Converse shoe with gray shoelaces. That's interesting. USB on backpack, targets, SD card. Good thing Terrell Farnsworth wasn't around. We wouldn't have known where the SD card was. Burnt known found in trash. Buccal swabs. Lance Twiggs, Matthew Robinson, and Amber Robinson. Why are we buccal swabbing the Robinsons? I guess DNA from them in case they can't get it from Tyler. Why did I even pull that up? It wasn't for that. Oh, it was for the trash. I already showed you that. Okay. So now we know where the burnt note was found in the trash can. Okay. I don't have an explanation for why a person with an IQ over the age of 70 would pull off this crime in this manner. I don't have one. I can't make it make sense to me. The only reason you would do it this way is if you intended to get caught. If you set out and said, look, I don't like Charlie Kirk, and I want them all to know I'm the one who did him in. This is precisely how you would take him out. Precisely. It would look exactly like this. You wouldn't change a thing. Nothing would change. You would take your car, you would take your phone, you would use your own gun, you would leave test bullets and etchings laying around the house, you would wear all your own clothes, you would take the clothes back home with you, make sure your shoes are conveniently found with the roof dust all over them and Converse. You would do all of this exactly this way. You would make sure you drove all over the place and parked long enough to get on camera absolutely everywhere. You would punch in maps and make sure that you're leaving pins everywhere you go for Google to track down. This is 100% precisely how you would do this. It's also, conveniently enough, and this is what gives me pause thinking he did it, it's also precisely how you would frame someone. Precisely. You would encourage them. You need to drive all over town. Hey, meet me over here. Meet me at this shopping center. Oh, I changed my mind. Meet me at the Quick Quack. Okay. Where's the Quick Quack? Punch into Google Maps. You'll find. Okay. You get almost home and they say, hey, did you grab that gun? Oh, no, I left it. We'll get it tomorrow. No, go back now and get it. In fact, park right here. Oh, okay. Don't pull around behind the house where no one's going to see you. That'd be foolish. Park right in front of the house and leave your car there for 45 minutes. And before you leave, make sure you punch in a map on how to get home, just so we know exactly what time you left and how you were going to get there. I look at this and think, if Tyler Robinson turns out to have done this crime, he is the dumbest SOB on the planet. Like, seriously low IQ. Very low. Haphazardly low. He's a moral hazard to himself and everyone around him. This is the guy you can't even be in the same room with because he's going to do something stupid and get everybody killed. And I don't even mean like, inviting crime in. I'm talking about like sticking a fork in the light socket. I mean, that's that kind of dumb. That kind of dumb. I don't know. I see that kind of stuff and I just seriously worry and wonder. I want to switch gears completely because I want to cover this and it was on my list and I'm out of time, so I'm going to do it very quickly. Put the Tyler Robinson timeline aside. Let's switch to Erika Kirk and her inability to tell the truth at absolutely any time about anything. Because one of the complaints about the nature of the decentralized investigation is that we're attacking a widow. And I don't think pointing out someone is a pathological liar is an attack. I think it's just identifying reality, right? If you're wearing a white shirt and I say you're wearing a white shirt, I'm not attacking you. I'm just pointing out reality. If you walk out at noon and the sun is bright in the sky and you say, hey, it's midnight. Okay, you're an idiot or you're a pathological liar, one or the other. I want to pull up a quick clip and then I want to pull up an article and see, does it sound like she's telling the truth? So here's the quick clip. I'm going to do this part very quickly because I was intending to be done over a minute ago and I still want to get to this, but I want to get to this.
And he had made mention at the end, like, Erika will do a great job running it. And when I watched that video this week, it really...
She just confirmed there's a video of Charlie Kirk appointing her to be the successor. Okay, that's what they're talking about. But that's not the part I want to focus in on. I know Candace focused in on that today. I don't believe that video exists. I don't believe he ever said that. I think she's lying right there, but that's not the lie I'm pointing out.
really put into perspective my youth and what I went through growing up and what I witnessed, my mom having her own company and being a single mother and watching her be the blueprint of, I'm not afraid of raising my children alone because I saw my mom do that.
She was raised by a single mother and saw her mom raise her as a single mother. Okay? Taking you at your word. I want to point you to an article that is difficult to find on the internet that Erika Kirk probably wishes wasn't out there. I want to give credit to the person who found it here. This is someone named Desiree661. I don't know who this is. So don't come at me like you did with Gray Hughes if it turns out to be a dud. All right? But I want to give credit to her because she did find this and I was able to track it down. Here's Erika Kirk. This is an interview of when Erika Kirk was the Miss Teen Arizona, whatever. Erika Franzve, 18-year-old senior at Notre Dame Prep, has done many things that teens her age can only dream of. Many of us can only dream of personally touring Air Force One or visiting Washington, D.C. to discuss situations in Iraq and Homeland Security. That's a lot for an 18-year-old, I'll admit. Top of that, she's currently reigning as Miss Teen Arizona, has created her own nonprofit organization, Everyday Heroes Like You, and is a varsity basketball, volleyball, and track star. For Erika, there wasn't much thought put into the idea of running for Miss Teen Arizona. It just came about literally. She received a letter in the mail that she was nominated by a teacher and decided to give it a try. Now, I will say this story has evolved quite a bit because she did give it a try. She didn't win the first time. She gave it a try a second year in a row and won Miss Teen Arizona. Then she went to college where she tried it in Colorado twice and didn't win. Then she went back to Arizona once and didn't win. And then she finally won after her sixth official Miss USA pageant, twice as a teen, four times as an adult. She finally won. And when she was asked about it on a podcast, she said, "Yeah, I don't know why I did it. I just got a letter in the mail and decided to do it and happened to win." She wants us to believe it was only the once when there were 5 previous attempts. Now, I think all good liars base their lies in some semblance of truth. And her semblance of truth is that she did receive a letter at one time and decided to give it a try, but that was when she was a junior in high school. That wasn't when she won as a senior in college. It was different 6 years ago. That's not the lie I want to focus on. I want to scroll down here. And I want to drill down on this highlighted line here. She lives with her parents, grandparents, and brother and says there's never a dull moment. She enjoys spending time with her family. She lives with her parents, grandparents, and brother. Parents is plural. Grandparents is plural. That's 4 adults in the house. And brother. It's a 5th human being and a 4th adult. 4 adults and a brother. And says there's never a dull moment. Again, good liars always base it in some truth. Her mother was divorced from her father. So in that sense, I guess she's a single mother. But when you listen to that Megyn Kelly interview, she's comparing her experience growing up to what the experience her children will have. My children will be raised by me alone. And that doesn't scare me because I was raised by a single mother. Ooh. No, you weren't. You had 2 parents and 2 grandparents in the house. At least 2 grandparents. Hell, it could have been more. That's 4 adults and a brother. We'll give him a half. 4.5 adults in the house. She's a deeply, fundamentally dishonest person. And you have to weigh that when they have her walking out to Charlie's Voice saying, "I appoint Erika to succeed me," when it's so obviously not true. It's not what he said. It doesn't fit. It doesn't go. There's an obvious cut. There's an obvious difference in tone. It's just not the same thing. He didn't say it. That's why they won't produce the video of him saying it. But she just claims she watched the video of him saying it. I think she is a deeply, fundamentally dishonest human being. A deeply, fundamentally dishonest human being. That is not attacking her. I'm not attacking a grieving widow. I'm pointing out reality. She's also wearing a black outfit. That's not attacking her. Just pointing out reality. She's wearing a black outfit and she's lying. She's wearing a black outfit, reality. She's lying, reality. It's just what it is. Just what it is. That's not attacking. So I want to stop people saying you're attacking the widow. Me pointing out her eyes roll around her head every time she says Jesus is also not attacking. It's just pointing out reality. She has significant problems controlling her eyes when the name of Jesus comes up. She looks like she's manifesting. All right. That was a long show. I apologize. I ran long. I intended to be done 7.5 minutes ago, and I am not. Don't forget to hit the like button, people. Where are we on likes? Are we even remotely in an acceptable position on likes, or have you guys failed me? I kid. We're okay. We're okay. But about half of you watching right now have not yet hit the like button. At least half of you watching right now have not hit the like button. So go ahead and do that for me. That'll take a big weight off of the shoulders of the show. And I'll get into some of your comments. The part that drives Gary absolutely bonkers. He can't stand this part of the show. My favorite part. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me make it a little bigger. There we go. I love the times we're in. Peace. The decentralized intel investigative agency is doing an amazing job exposing criminals in the government and dismantling the Fed slop surrounding Charlie Kirk's assassination. Bravo. I agree. Tonight was Fed slop exposure extraordinaire. The Alpo lovers are going to love it. Oh, I love the Fed slop. I love the Fed. Oh, I can't get enough Fed slop. That's not us. That's not us. We don't love Fed slop. Baron, your laugh makes me laugh. If you are near Spring Hill, you got to try Awaken Coffee Company. Owners are our dear friends. I've been there several times. It's delicious. Hello. Last episode, you mentioned a lady interviewed ×2. I sent email on 15th January. Her name is Angie Martin, a retired police officer of 20 years, taught active shooter also. Thank you. And Daisy, Crisis King. Crisis King indeed. I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what I mentioned last episode about a lady being interviewed twice. I can't think of it. Pardon my low IQ query, but do we know if TR's phone was pinged on that rooftop? Has there been any mention of his phone being pinged anywhere? Yes, one mention. It was mentioned that it was pinged at the shopping center where they recovered video footage of his car. And I think that was on purpose. I think he was, in my telling of him being a patsy, if you put him in that parking lot and you sit him still for 2 minutes, you know he's captured by video footage all over that parking lot. You ping his phone, if he even had his phone, could have been anyone in that car. But if you ping his phone and it pings to that location, then you can say his phone was here and here's video footage of his car. Notice there's no video footage of him. Maybe there's video footage of him vacuuming out the car. I don't know what he was doing there at the car, at the quick quack. No idea what he was doing at the quick quack. But yeah, it was pinged. Hi, Chris, Conway from Canada. Who's Chris? When CK passed, it affected me to my core, and you've given me newfound hope. Baron, Christ is King. Oh, you must be talking to Chris through the show. Only Donna and Harvey can do that. EK's IG ultrasound video, September 23, 2024, shows her OB, Dr. DeSanto. I work in Bertha, Arizona, and can confirm. Death notice on Camelback Women's Facebook page, February 10, 2025. Makes you wonder. I mean, people die, doctors die. I don't make a big deal out of the doctor dying. I know a lot of people seem to. I see it a lot. Personally love the quirky countdown. It fits. I'm trying to get rid of it. I got to get in touch with AdFleet, though, and I keep being too lazy to text. Everyone talked about TR changing clothes. Wasn't the second outfit supposed to be the burgundy merch? I Candace Baron the Fed slop anymore. Thank you for that recommendation. Was the second outfit supposed to be the burgundy? I think the current understanding of the outfit timeline is burgundy to black to burgundy, if I'm not mistaken. Well, let's call it maroon. 31 more people to 300,000. Hit the likes and sub to this high IQ squad. Is that true? Are we that high already? I don't think that's accurate. No. We're nowhere near that. We're nowhere near that. Oh, 31,000 people. Yeah. Not 31 though. We're at 269,400. If you've not liked and subscribed, now is your indication now that we're talking about it. I will shamelessly ask. We're 31,000 people away. New song, It Wasn't Me, SoundCloud rap name T-Rob. Okay. Thank you for your courage. Thank you for yours. Thoughts on Sandy Hook? Do I believe the narrative? I've not looked particularly deeply into Sandy Hook, believe it or not. I did fall in the rabbit hole a little bit, but that was years ago, and I don't remember all the facts that had me wondering. I remember thinking it was weird, but I don't remember the precise facts about why I thought it was weird. I will say one thing that I know was weird was the 1-to-1 kill rate. For every shot he took, a person's life was lost, and that is very unusual in any kind of mass shooting. Hey, Baron was just hoping to ask for some prayers from you in our awesome community. I know God will know what the prayers are about. Thank you. Duly noted. Francesco Penici. That's an Italian name if I've ever heard one. But Baron, what are your thoughts on Candace's video showing the red circle developing on the back of Charlie's shirt as he's going down? I still can't see it. I keep looking. I don't know if that was an artifact on YouTube. I have the video. I can look at it more closely here. If I can find it. May not be able to pull it up real quickly. I know I have it. Oh, speaking of, let me clarify a few. I have the photographs of the SUV now. Those photographs do not show a broken window, and they don't show a broken door handle that I can tell. And I've seen all of them. I don't know why it looks that way on her YouTube, but it just does not look that way on the photographs. I showed the close-up photograph yesterday of the door handle. If you didn't see it, go back yesterday. It's obvious, I think, to me, it's not broken. But the window's just not broken. I've got interior and exterior. It's not broken. But thanks about and I don't see the red dot on his back while he's going down. I don't see it in the video I have. Thank you, Baron. What's your favorite hoodie color? I like that kind of purplish blue one right now. Like if I had to pick a favorite in my mind right this second, it would be that one. That it's kind of like an electric blue, or I don't know what they call it, but it has like a little purple hint to it. I really like that. Purple's the color of kings. It's a monarchical color. You know, my dream is to be the king. And Adfleet made me king for a day, and it was amazing. Always enjoy the openings. If I can't listen uninterrupted, then I wait. May Jesus bless you and your family and all you do. Thank you. Very kind of you. Jeepers Creepers, Mr. Peepers. Yeah. Oh, did I say that today? I've said it before. I know I've said it before. Coach's baby is here. Congratulations, Coach Colin. Yes, his baby is here, and he turned 40. Big day. Big day. You only turned 40 once. And he chose to have a baby on that day. His baby basically replaced him. I told him that already. I said, you realize your baby's replacing you, right? I emailed you about a connection between TF and the homeowner. Who's TF? Terrell Farnsworth? I don't know who TF is. Erwin Steele that captured alleged TR ring cam footage. I don't want to say too much before you can present it so it doesn't get pulled down. Check your email. I saw an email about that. I don't know if that was you or not. I don't know who TF is though. I don't recall that. Where's Charlie's family? Like his parents. Those poor souls are going through so much. They are in my prayers. Thank you, Baron. Go Max for life. I believe his parents are not wanting to be in publicly commenting or involved. And I think that's accurate information. YouTube just shut down the channel that was making the Lego videos. Oh man. Now I don't think people should be cheesing on America. I'm not saying I'm rooting for anyone else, but I understand good comedy when I see it. It was hilarious. I wish we could do as well back to them. That's the kind of war I want. A meme war. Let's do a meme war instead of having 150 school children die. High IQ outfits only. Yes, that's correct. We don't allow anything else. You're an on time, respectful of people's type of operation. That's correct. I do try to be here on time. You've always talked about that. Keep it up. I will do my best. I will do my best. Today, I found out all the portraits of Jesus in my house are fake. They're all of Red Cross doctors. I feel so low IQ. Please like Barron's video. Dare I say every portrait of Jesus is fake? Maybe Sister Faustina's is the only one with a remote claim to accuracy. I am mom of disabled daughter, and I want to say retarded is a medical word. It's a negative. I'm not going to listen to it. I'm sorry. It's a word. It is a word. Stop being a snowflake. Stop being a snowflake. It's a word. Get over it. No one's making fun of handicapped people. I despise people who make fun of handicapped people. But I also despise people who try to police language. Stop it. We're better than that. It is a word. I'm not giving in. That's a retarded take. I'm not giving in to this crap. I'm not giving in to you trying to tell me what I can't say because some condition might be. I'm not talking about them. Clearly not talking about them. So stop it. Save your $10. I'll give it back. What's your name? Send me a Venmo request. I'll send it back to you. Hello, Barron. I was wondering about your conversion to Catholicism. Oh, great follow-up there after I freak out on somebody for using the R word. What did that look like? Were you and your wife on the same page? I've spoken about it many times before. I don't want to give the whole story now, but we were not initially on the same page. She started RCIA classes with me, or I guess what's now considered called OCIA. She started RCIA classes with me, and while we were taking the classes, she had a change of heart because, like many, like I was before I started looking into it, we were all under mistaken assumptions of what Catholicism is. Fulton Sheen said there are millions of people who hate what they think Catholicism is. There aren't 100 people on earth that know what it is and hate it. And she found herself in that boat. So that's our story. That's a very short version of it. That's a multi-year story compressed into a few lines. Evening, Barron. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for that. By far the very best podcast on any platform. You make others use their mind. I try, and you know what? That right there is why I don't like the speech police. That is a low IQ take to tell someone they can't use a word. I mean, we use the word cripple, like, I'm crippled. I've got a bad leg. Are there crippled people out there? They're like, oh, you can't say cripple. We say spastic. Oh, he's being a spaz. Are there people that truly have spastic conditions running around like, you can't say spastic? If so, stop it. Stop it. These are just words. I want to normalize using words. Sorry. Use your mind. Stop being emotional all the time. I just do swear to not slop the sloppy Fed slopper. Okay. Okay. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for all you do. Love this high IQ outfit. Thank you. Dodger Blue, 3-peat incoming. Great show and choice, sir. This is mid-70s Braves Blue. Mid-70s Atlanta Braves Blue is what this is. Thank you, Barron, for explaining cognitive dissonance. You're welcome, Chrissy Ann. The commenter a few moments ago was experiencing cognitive dissonance, and they were trying to reduce it by policing my speech, and I'm not going to have it. But Barron, what are some of your favorite books? I have a book. Oh, gosh. You just reminded me I haven't put my book list out yet. I have a top 10 book list I'm going to release. I don't even know if it's a top 10, but it's like 10 must-reads. And I'm at 8. I'm stuck. Maybe I'll just do a top 8. Thank you. You guys getting gifted memberships. Go check out the Zach Costello interview. It was much calmer than my reaction to the lady a moment ago. But Barron, might the defense call Tyler Robinson to testify? Not sure if that'd be good or bad. I don't know the facts of the. I mean, I don't think anyone on the outside might they. Sure, they might. I mean, that's an easy answer, but they might. Whether it's a good idea, I don't know the facts of the case. As I understand them, they're probably fine to testify. It might even be helpful for him to get up there, look believable, and say, I didn't do it. But you'd really have to know the facts of the case. I don't think there are any, like, that I'm aware of anyway. I don't think there's any impeachment possibility. Choosing Barabbas over Jesus shows classic cognitive dissonance. They felt the truth, but chose the comfort and safety over what they knew was right. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Bar, of course, meaning son, a boss, the father, son of the father. Barabbas. B, hope I didn't offend you. Isn't saying I saw your old video. Oh, I don't care. I don't care. It was still awesome. I promise. Never stop keeping us company. Love a ginger from Scotland. You even removed the T so I can say it properly. Scotland. There's a glottal stop there. No T, just a glottal stop. Scotland. I don't care. You can watch whatever you want. When Erika said that young man, I forgive him. Maybe we're all fools to think she was talking about TR. Maybe she was actually talking about CK. No, I don't think so. Baron, favorite humble host right after Battle Bun Monday. The Battle Bun was activated today, and she delivered. She delivered. Went right for Ben Shapiro's throat first. And then went after the Fed Slop narrative. Thanks for all the good wishes for my bearded dragon. ER vet was wrong about cancer. I can't help but believe this community helped. Keep going, Max. High IQ outfit. The bearded dragon is safe, guys. I've never heard of a bearded dragon getting cancer. It's the very first time I've ever heard of it. I'm glad it's not true. Harry Connick Sr. was the DA that immediately filled Jim Garrison's spot in New Orleans. I did not know that. That's interesting. I guess that makes sense because they said he was there for 30 years, right? Did I read that right? Baron, right after the assassination, my father announced that CK was sought in the Jules. Said he heard it on the news in the wee hours of the night, never heard it again. I don't believe that's true. Transcript, 6:25 p.m., 3:56. No. We've talked about this. The 3:36:53 is a video, likely to be a compilation. That's the way I'm reading it. But don't read into the fact that he had been there for 3.5 hours. Maybe. But I don't believe that's true. I don't believe. Where can I find a hospital where doctors wear a Jesus Christ Party City costume? Asking for a friend. Trump sells them. We need merch that says, I'm going to be late coming home, my B. Miss Coleman can try it for us. Yeah. I got a lot of feedback on that segment. But Baron, I'm surprised you didn't think dumb Trump be this kind of tyrant as Prez when voting for him. We, the people on the other side, knew how dangerous to vote for someone as delusional, deranged, unhinged like Trump. Oh, but I had a 4-year track record. To go by. He did not launch any wars against Iran in that 4 years. Buccal swabs mouth swab. Yeah, I looked that up. Buccal equals cheek. Yes, I looked it up. It doesn't sound like a cheek, though. If you say, let me touch your buccal, we're going to fight. I had no idea it was a cheek. Why wouldn't you just say cheek? Well, actually, if I'm going to touch your cheek, I might fight you too. Don't touch your hands off my buccal. Hi, Baron. Thanks for the birthday shout out to my dad. Tatus equals Tatouche Stan. Put a big smile on the old man's face. Now he thinks he's famous. He is famous. Very famous. Stan the man. Baron, have been with you since Google Trends. Actually triggered CO to show your crash out. Love you, and you have replaced Amazon Prime Entertainment for us. Pax Christi from fellow papists. Yeah, now you bring up the Joe crash out. I just crashed out on somebody for trying to police my speech. Eric Connick Sr. played a huge role in covering up a high-profile Boy Scout child transport scandal, allegedly. Oh, learn new things every day. There's also a high IQ cooking health channel. Protein and veg, little fruit, nuts, no carbs. That's not what I said. Not what I said. Meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, those have carbs. Little starch, those have carbs. No sugar. Get your carbs from some fruit and little starch. Should make up no more than 40, I think they say 40% of your daily calories should be carbohydrates. At most. Sits to stand unassisted 50 times a day, but you left out how long to steam rice. Yesterday's health advice. No, I didn't. Did not at all. 30-minute minimum soak up to all day. 2 parts water, 1 part basmati rice. Always basmati. Don't go with the cheap stuff. You let that soak, 2 parts water, 1 part basmati rice. You bring it up to a boil. Soon as it boils, heat down to medium. Soon as the bubbles start to get to the top of the thing, or a minute or so, cut the heat, get it off the heat, let it steam at least 30 minutes. Let it sit in there at least 30 minutes. You can let it sit there all day if you want. You know it's perfect when the rice on the top curls. When your top of your rice looks like this, that's you got perfect rice. It's flat like this when you take it off the eye, and then it dries and it starts to curl. That's perfect rice. You'll never go wrong with that recipe. Never. Everyone who comes by will be like, man, this is perfect rice. They're like, I know. Don't mess with it either. Don't stir it up. Let it sit. Curl. Candace has suspicions about Butler. Have you shared with her what spooked you and why you stopped your investigation into it? Christ is king indeed. I'm not going to tell you that because I don't want you guys bothering her. But Baron, I'm not saying to vote for Biden either. As a country, how about give us better candidates than these fools? We need to demand for better. High IQ here. Stop, dim, and rep just better. Yeah, you're not going to get it. I got bad news. If the feds will go to links they have gone to so far to falsify info, won't they go to all the links needed to fix all these holes before trial to make sure they get TR convicted to close case? Pay anyone, company, any amount of money to win. Maybe. Baron just finished River of Doubt. What an amazing read. I told you it's on my list of top 10, by the way. Someone mentioned the books earlier. It's absolutely amazing. And Xanadu did Kubla Khan. I'm sure you remember that from the book. I may have found my new favorite genre, narrative history. Seems as though people back in those days were just built differently. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Teddy was a man. That's why he's on my wall up here. That's why he's right here. A man's man. Manliest man to ever be president. Period. End of story. B, why the judge who signed the warrant order it locked until 3/26? Christ is king. Thanks. They all seem to order them sealed for a month. I don't know why. I guess to prevent evidence from getting spoiled or something. I don't know. Maybe that's standard procedure out there. Dropping the G's, all eyes on me. I'm going to be home late, my B. Got the beginning of a good song there, sir. Or ma'am. Maybe Lance's nickname was Luna for short for lunatic. Yeah, maybe. Probably pretty accurate. He seems like, you know what I'm saying? He might not be the best witness, is my understanding. He'd be a terrible witness. And they're going to need him. But Baron, we need, and here is your opening statement merch. This is your opening statement. Not here is. Is it here is? This is. No, it's this is. This is. What do you think of Erika Kirk buying that massive new house? Did you see that video from the plumber? Meanwhile, she lived in a tiny apartment with Charlie. I did see the video. I assume it's accurate. And I mean, it's a big house. Don't get me wrong, but it's not what she can afford. I mean, she could afford a 40,000 square foot house. It's not. But it's beautiful. She's rich. She's rich. She's rich. Hi, Baron. Buckle is pronounced like buckle. Oh, I like buckle better. I'm not changing. It's a buckle from now on. Don't touch my buckle. Off my buckle. It's a buckle. How you said it made my day. Former dental hygienist. Now you've probably heard about a lot of buckles in your day. All up in there grinding around on people's teeth. Now are in here. Christ is king indeed. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for all you do. No cavities. Never had a cavity, no braces. Lots of dental hygienists. Lots of dental hygienists. Hey, at least they provided any, have they at least provided any proof of the burned letter? Were there ashes or any remnants left behind? This all happened so record-breakingly quick. I feel like there would have been something left behind. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. We were just told it was the remnants of a burned letter. I don't think we have the ashes. Maybe they kept them. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. Absolutely love your opening statements. I absolutely love your comments. See how that works? Two-way street. Two-way street. 1, 2, buckle my shoe. See, you tried to get me. You tried to get me, but you couldn't. I outwitted you. Where's the GSR test? That would be extremely important, allegedly. I don't know. We don't have all the evidence. We don't have all the evidence. Thank you. Baron, did you say you needed help with emails? I work in a judicial system near you and have plenty of free time. Let me know, brother, if I can help you all. Christ is king indeed. Brother Baron, thank you for what you do. No, I don't need help at all with emails. I don't want to deal with them. If I get someone to help with them, I got to read them. I don't want to read them. No offense, but if we only got tips, the email inbox would be the greatest invention of all time. But we don't. Instead, it's full of, have you seen this podcast? Nope. And I'm not going to watch it. Here's my AI slop results from Gemini or Grok. Don't care. Not that I'm not being rude, but I mean, it's not what we're looking for. I'm looking for tips. Tyler Robinson was seen here. Here's a photo that's not been released yet. Don't tell me, did you see Candace released a photo of Tyler Robinson? Erika? Yes, I did. I'm not being ugly. We just made a decision. It's not worth going through the emails anymore. Regarding jury selection for high-profile cases with social media, there are more well-read people than ever. So do these people have to be excused? Thus, our juries becoming increasingly less intelligent. Juries are primarily made up of people who can't get out of jury duty. And I don't mean that in an ugly way. I just mean like they just can't get out. So you're already on a reduced pool, so to speak. Yeah, I think it's becoming harder to find juries. I don't know that they're less intelligent, maybe less informed. But Baron, a show about intellectual DW. What's DW? Thank you. Usually can't join live, India. But like to say hi when I can. Come for content, stay for convo. Super chat. Time is what makes this pod community unique. Keep doing your thing. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. It's my favorite part is being able to respond to people. I still feel bad about getting mad at that woman. I shouldn't have. Thank you for that, though, by the way. Thank you very much. From India, all the way from India. Wow. My son, I'm always curious. Do these overseas people have any connection to the United States, or they just tune into American podcasts? That's all. That always interests me. My son's roommate was being investigated. My son could give permission to search his room in the common area, but not his roommates without a warrant. I'm going to assume that they shared a room, but maybe I'm wrong about that. Why would a burned letter be admissible? Seemed it would be deemed hearsay by the court. So there's a hearsay exception, statement against a party opponent. I don't know the exception off the top of my head. It's been so long. 803 D2B, maybe? I don't have my rules of evidence. Let me look that up. I want to make sure I'm right about that. Fed Rules Evidence 803D. Exceptions to the rule against hearsay. I'm in the right place. 803. Where's the party opponent? I have to find it. Anyway, there's an exception for a statement by a party opponent. And if you, what that means is the criminal defendant, if he has made an out-of-court statement, someone can bring that in. So that's it, what they're saying is that letter is his statement. I think I'm right about that. And I don't think there'd be anything to exclude to go against the general exception. I'm trying to think. I mean, you would have authentication issues, but just put Lance up there to say he took the picture. It's fair and accurate representation of the letter when he saw it. So any objection to it would go towards weight, not sufficiency. In other words, if you want to challenge that that's an original photo or accurate photo, then you would challenge it on cross-examination. I think it would get in, and it's diabolical if it's not real, because how can you tell? How can you tell? Maybe the photo is hearsay of the letter that satisfies the exception. I don't know. I'd have to look at that. Who wrote River of Doubt? Lots of options online. River of Doubt. Candace Millard. Candace, Candice. Millard, Millard. Candace Millard. Boy, it's a good book. Holy mackerel. I think it was the first Teddy Roosevelt book I read, believe it or not. Either that or Mornings on Horseback. I can't remember which I read first. If Lance's family owned TR House, can they consent to search? Not if they don't live there. I'm assuming that's the rule in Utah. Your Frost and Tupac comparisons and subsequent had me rolling yesterday. Cali Love is my favorite hip-hop song. Your sarcasm is hilarious. Thanks. You're welcome. You're welcome. I just say stuff. Sometimes it works out. Aaron, remember the chat a few shows back? Chat said her friend worked as sheriff's assistant who said T. Robinson was guilty. Lots of evidence. Shouldn't defense know about this discussion? And should that employee be fired? I mean, if it's even true, here's one of the things that's happened, and we've caught people in this lie. People so badly want Tyler Robinson to be convicted that they just lie and they say things. Oh, I had a person who worked here and they saw this, and then you track it down and it's just not true. Like, you can't find evidence of it. And then they start backtracking when you finally start looking into it, like, well, I didn't mean it was exactly that. Yeah. So that's kind of how I take stuff like that. I'm sort of dismissive of that. If someone truly said, put it on the record. Put it on the record. But if it's true, yeah, the person should be reprimanded. Reminds me of awesome movie, The Count of Monte Cristo. That's a good book, too. Hey, I have a Raspberry Pi, and wait a minute. Yeah, a lot of people probably were introspective when I said that and realized I'm right. Need a Smile, 2013 Iowa Bowl, kick 6, War Eagle Baron. I was there. I saw it with my own two peepers. Have I ever told that story on air? My sister and I were there, Nurse Casey. We watched the whole game. We're standing up on the ramps. I don't know if you know Auburn's stadium, but a lot of people stand up on the ramps when they have kind of far-flung seats or they're not seated together with somebody and they want to watch it with somebody. So my sister and I are standing there. It's like a 4.5-hour game because it's on CBS, and that's what happens. And initially, we thought time had expired and it was going to go into overtime. It was a tie game at that point. And so they're doing a review on whether to put a time back on the clock. Well, my sister says, oh, if it's going into overtime, I'm going to go to the bathroom. So she runs down the stadium to go to the restroom. And then they announce they're going to put 1 second back on the clock and they're going to kick a field goal. It's a long field goal, but they're going to kick a field goal. So I run into the restroom to try to find her, into the women's restroom. Nurse Casey, nowhere to be found. So I dart back into position, doing the Blake Neff. I mean, my hands are going this way. My hands are going this way. I finally get into position right before they line up for the field goal. But then they call a timeout. I'm like, okay, she has time to get back here. She's not back yet. They call a timeout. Auburn substitutes a different person. They put Chris Davis back in the end zone underneath the field goal. Alabama comes out. They signal the ball ready for play, blow the whistle. They snap the ball. The field goal kicker leans in. He gets a nice boot on the ball, end over end up towards the field goal. It's short. Chris Davis fields it 1 yard short of going out of bounds and then runs 109 yards through Alabama defenders, slicing and dicing them like butter. Gets to the end zone, falls down. The crowd goes freaking nuts. I've never been in a place that reacted that way. It was insane how crazy the crowd went. And it's about that time Nurse Casey rolls up behind me and said, what did I miss? And I couldn't explain it. I said, the place was just like it was alive. It was just like boom, 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 boom. Like the whole stadium was moving. She missed it. And I never miss a chance to clown on it. It's been 12 and a half years since that happened. And I still will point out every now and then the single greatest play in college football history happened and you missed it. I feel bad for her. But it's sibling rivalry. You got to point out I saw something and you didn't. I'm sorry, Nurse Casey. Quick question, Baron. What is your all-time favorite color? Sweatshirt size. Also, can you put up that P.O. box again? Quick question, Baron. What is your... You asked it twice. Is that making fun of me for repeating everything? P.O. box is here. All-time favorite color. I like light blues. But not necessarily like Carolina blue. Not necessarily teal blue, but just kind of like a fun blue. And I wear a large. Just about everything. And thank you, by the way. Thank you in advance. My dad's a traditional Catholic conservative running for PA state rep against incumbent MAGA TPUSA loyalist, and it's getting nasty. Asking everyone to show some love for Bill Jones for PA on Facebook. Buccal is pronounced buckle. Not on this show, it's not. It's buccal. Inside of the cheek. The side of the tooth that touches the cheek is called the buccal side. That makes sense to me why you would call it the buccal side. Because it's the buccal. Easy on the Raspberry Pi, GBC. Some of us boomer nerds live in that world. I've got at least 6 on my desk now. Techies rule. Christ is king indeed. Ivan, I got bad news for you, brother. I got bad news. I don't want to be the one to tell you, Ivan. So I'm going to go on to the next comment. Germany here. Love your show. Regarding Taylor, I'm really angry. People should imagine being him or his family. Oh, you're talking about Tyler. We can only hope he makes it to trial. This is really dangerous and, in my opinion, could happen to anyone's kid. Agreed. I feel like my IQ just lowered with your pronunciation of buccal swab. No, it didn't. It actually increased. It's pronounced buckle. Bless it, Baron, you cracked me up. No. I'm sorry, the whole world has gotten it wrong. If the government can alter metadata, how can we be sure they don't edit everything to fit the narrative? As your open proves, you can't trust LEOs or judges. I don't want to say you can't across the board, but there certainly are some you can't trust. Baron Bad Cop, is it possible the assassination attempt on president could have been a test recon for the real deal hit on Charlie? No, that's not possible. You would never test that out on the president of the United States with a substantially stronger security detail of actual trained professionals, not just people that like to dress up on the weekends and play Billy Bad A Crooked Letter. 8:04, he's walking in front of a house. At 9:32, he's seen leaving a parking structure. Riddle me this, Batman. You must have missed my show. He was not seen walking in front of a house at 8:04 or 8:07, which was the timeline I think you're talking about. That picture was probably taken after 10 a.m. I don't know why they told us it was 8:07, but it wasn't. The shadow proves it definitively. It was probably taken between 10:05 and 10:10-ish, if it was taken on that same day anyway. People without Raspberry Pi devices are buccal swabs. I don't know what that means. In GTA, you pull into the space shop to get rid of your wanted level, not the car wash. Duh, Tyler. Oh, I don't know anything about that. Would defense know if feds planted evidence in TR's home when entering at 1 without search warrant? No, probably not. And I believe evidence was planted at the scene of Las Vegas crime because there are pictures without the evidence and things have been moved. So that's why you're supposed to have a warrant. Bill Barron spreading love and laughs. I heard they give a quick whack at the quick quack. I don't know that you want a quick whack. I don't think I want one of those. If my son had a few extra minutes to kill time, he would have found a car wash. I just rinsed my car a few minutes ago because I saw some dirt. Yeah, but you don't have a few minutes after the highest profile political assassination in America since 1963. You don't have a few extra minutes. If you have a few extra minutes, you didn't commit the crime. That's the point. You did not commit that crime if you have a few extra minutes. Period. Hearing Barron say buccal swab made my night, especially as a French speaker. Then came the quick quack. Free abs workout for me. Good. I like to keep people fit. I want to see those 6-packs, people. Get rid of that belly fat. Meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch, no sugar. Your belly fat will melt away. Melt away. According to messages, wasn't Lance headed to house to meet Tyler on the 11th? If Fed's state were in house 1 a.m.ish on 12th, where was Tyler and Lance? Good question. Hold on, let me do this timeline here. Lance was headed around 10 a.m. to meet Tyler at the house on the 11th. That's correct. By 1 a.m. Oh, 1 a.m. Oh, so that should be 1 a.m. on the 13th. Is that what the... Oh, please. Let me go back and look at the timeline. Is that what it said? Did they get the date wrong? No, that can't be right. Tyler apartment. Affidavit, September 12th, 7:18 a.m. Yeah, so that would have been the next day. Well, no, because 7 a.m. on the 12th? Yeah, he would have turned himself in the night of the 11th. So that works. That works. And then the 12th at 1 a.m. on the 12th. Yeah, that works. That's accurate. So Tyler would have been in custody on the 11th. And Lance would have been at his house with the feds on the 12th at 1 a.m. Yeah. Yeah, that's where they were. You had me confused. Good evening, Baron. To show my appreciation to you and everyone in this high IQ outfit, I will share my favorite dad joke. What do you call a man with a rubber toe? Drum roll, please. Roberto. Christ is king. I'll allow it. Look, I'm going to allow that. I'm going to allow that. Roberto. Christ is king indeed. Quick quack, Baron. Quick quack. Yeah. Where he was. I'm just saying where he was. Hi, Baron. Am I the only one who thought it was strange that DJT didn't mention CK or EK when he was posting his insults about Candace? Could it be because he knows she's right about what she's saying? I think that's a logical fallacy to assume that in order for him to criticize her on one thing, he must criticize her about everything. He was criticizing her about her position on Iran. Baron, I have a dozen Raspberry Pi devices and can confirm I am indeed a weirdo. Thanks for all you do. The question is whether it's linear or logarithmic. Like what is is it exponential? What is the, from Pi device to Pi, like each additional Pi device, how much weirder are you? Like one is weird. We've established that. That's a fact. Look that up in the encyclopedia. So one is weird. Is two twice as weird? Is 3 4 times as weird or just 3 times as weird? I mean, a lot of questions here. I might have to study this. On the road, Edge. Stop to give you a quickie. Getting closer. Thank you, sir. Okay. Quick whack. Is that quick whack reference or something else? A quick message. Oh, I got you, Edge. You're welcome. My 6-year-old said that's not a doctor. He's trying to be Jesus. Yeah. FYI, big B. I like that. Mrs. Dana 702 said Tyler's car was at Tyler's dad's and mom's house. I know because I live near there. Get him, Baron. Love you. When was it at Tyler's dad and mom's house? It's a key fact, the when. Thank you, Miss Dana. I would love to know more. Does she say she lives there or her mom lives there? Oh, you live near. Love to talk to you, Miss Dana. And I don't understand how these cell phone warrants work. So they can request his Google searches, but not his digital forensic evidence of his messages. They can request the digital forensic evidence of his messages, and I understand they did that. They just don't want to provide it to the defense and don't intend to introduce it as evidence. And it's a key distinction. The question is, what is the prosecution required to turn over to the defense? In some jurisdictions, they just make it like they don't want to screw it up. And you got a guy who's obviously guilty. Here's everything we have. I don't know why they wouldn't turn it over. I also noticed something else weird about these search warrants. They all start on August 27th. They all start on August 27th and go forward. None of them look back to the 26th, the 25th, or any time before August 27th, which sort of betrays the notion that there could be any kind of a collaboration. If you're going to grab a patsy, you're not just going to do it on August 27th. You're going to get them way in advance. We've got to know we got a patsy in place before July 18th, before we schedule it at UVU. I mean, you're talking June, May, April. I think it's too convenient that these search warrants all start on August 27th. But yeah, so the question is, in Utah, I guess, what is the rule, or what is the pattern? What is the standard practice in this area? Do they just typically turn everything over? Or do they often hold stuff back if they don't intend to introduce it? Obviously, if it's exculpatory, it's required by the Supreme Court to turn over. But if it's not exculpatory and they don't intend to use it, in a lot of jurisdictions, you don't have to turn it over. A lot of jurisdictions, they don't turn it over. Or some jurisdictions, they don't turn. So, yeah, that's interesting to me. Or maybe they're going to turn it over. Here's another interesting. Maybe they turn it over to the defense, but then they don't use it. So the defense has to introduce it. And that's a different dynamic there as well. So Google Street View pick, QQ has a great Challenger 7 2025. Really? No, we wouldn't have gotten that luck. You say Google Street View? The Quick Quack, Orem, Utah, North State Street, Street View. Where's the Quick Quack? I see no Quick Quack. Where's the Quick Quack? Oh, there it is. That's all the way up there. How do you get over there? I can't get to the Quick Quack from here. Hold on. Hold, please. This is interesting if this is true. Let me find the Quick Quack. Let's go this street right here. I want to be right there. Why is it so far away? I'll have to look into that. I don't want to waste any time doing that, but it's like I can't get on the right street to get into the Quick Quack. Try this road. Oh, here's the Quick Quack. Yeah, there is. That's pretty wild. Look at this. Yeah, surely not, right? Surely not. That's it right there. That's July of 2025. Right there. No kidding. Well, if I'm the defense, I want to know where he was in July of 2025. Was he at the Quick Quack? Golly, guys. As the world turns, you know what I'm saying? It's like a soap opera. TR's car was towed from his parents' house in Washington City, Utah on Friday, 9/11/26, 5-6 p.m. Street was blocked all day. I live near there. Oh, you did give me the. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. What if? Oh, wait a minute, from his parents' house. Yeah. Was he? Hold, please. Hold, please. Because if his car was, Ms. Dana, can you do me a favor? This is very important. I need you to email me. Don't anyone else do what I'm about to ask her to do. Please let Ms. Dana do this. I need you to email me and say car tow. That's all I want you to put in the subject line. And I want to get in touch with you. Give me some kind of contact information. This is incredibly important. Because if this is true, if this is true, this is groundbreaking on this case. My question is, you've given me two dates. You've given me Friday and 9/11. 9/11 was Thursday. So I need you to email me so you and I can get together and determine whether you're talking about Friday, 9/12, which isn't that remarkable, or Thursday, 9/11. Because Thursday, 9/11 at 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., We have a real problem on our hands with the timeline. Thursday 9/11, or Thursday 9/12. I mean, Friday 9/12 is not that big of a deal. So email me. I got to get in touch with you. We got to get this clarified or clarify in a comment, but I don't want you to have to pay for another comment. Tell me. What if parked ring camera at 12:47 after car wash and left at 1:35 p.m.? Go back. That's not what it said though. And it mentioned the next morning, the 11th. So no, I don't think that's right. Is he allowed to speak with his family? I fear his life is in tremendous danger. Not sure that will change, even if found innocent, released. Of course, you can talk to your family when you're in a county jail. My hubby says Matthew 28:12-13 is the OG Fed Slop. You think there's Fed Slop in the Bible? Ain't no Fed Slop in the Bible. Bible's certified Fed Slop free. There's a logo on there if you look closely. Fed Slop in the Bible? Nonsense. I got to check. 12-13. And when they had assembled with the elders and taken counsel, they gave a sum of money to the soldiers and said, tell people his disciples came by night and stole him away while we were asleep. Oh, Fed Slop. Yeah. What can I say? I was wrong. I stand corrected. The original Fed Slop. Liars. That's funny. You got me. Thank you, 888 Shay. Quick Quack membership. Good at all locations. All right. Good to know. If I'm ever out in Quick Quack region, I'll consider that. 2 people I know of has Raspberry Pi devices, use them for 3D printing, and yes, they are strange fellows indeed. Confirmation. I know what I'm talking about. It's pronounced buckle, not buckle. No, it's not around here. Not in this high IQ outfit. AZ Golf Chick. It's a buccal swab. There were multiple documented Oswald decoys deployed prior to the JFK murder as well. So many similarities to the CK murder. I believe that. Sounds like they had quite a few people dressed like him in Dodge Challengers. Remember all the people in maroon shirts and hats? What he had on at the Dairy Queen pick, right? Yeah, that's true. They did. There were a lot. Well, I won't say that. We know for a fact there were a lot of people wearing maroon shirts that looked a lot like him, which is strange, which is weird. We also know there was another Dodge Challenger that we found right across the street from UVU at the McDonald's that morning, if you recall correctly, if you remember that show. So it's possible they did have a Dodge Challenger and maroon shirt decoy thing. Car wash swap with someone away from overhead surveillance. That's my thought. Keep them satellites and airplanes out of it. Just a feeling I can't spiritually shake. A friend of mine's father suddenly passed at 61 years old about 2 months ago. He was stationed at Fort Huachuca. I have more details if you're interested. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. Sure, I'm interested. Of course. Wearing the Battle Bun Blue. I saw in the bedroom yesterday, had to run. A lady screamed from the inside. You and Daisy, the new moonlight. That's a lot going on in that comment. I'm glad you enjoyed the movie. It sounds like you enjoyed it. Battle Bun Blue. Activated. If I'm Tyler, I would not have stopped until I got across the country. If I was Tyler, I would have done a lot of things differently that day. If I was Tyler and did it, oh man, I would have done so many things differently. I'm actually learning history, logic, theology, psychology, philosophy, journalism, crime investigation in this podcast. Thanks, Barron. Professor Barron of High IQ University. Yes, I've been known to wear a sweater vest. The next thing I need is one of those, what do they call those things? The blazers that have the leather patches. What are they called? They look like wool. They're usually brown and they have some stripes on them. You know what I'm talking about? They got those wool pads. A lot of the professors wear them. I'm going to have to get one of those. 43 regular. Boom! Showing up. My leather elbow pads. Oh, man. Well, thank you for that, by the way. My goal in podcasting is just to be me, and these are the things that interest me. Why no gunshot residue test of Tyler, and why no roof gravel residue test in his car? Roof gravel residue in his car. What's missing from these search warrants is more telling than anything else. And I don't know this because I don't know how gunshot residue sticks to the human, but is it even still on you 3 days later, 2 days later? I don't know. I see why you would transfer it to your car. It'd be on your wheel, maybe. I don't know. Kind of miss those days of staring at the side of your head while you quietly watch a video. The good old days. Kate, we've come a long way. We've come a long way, Kate. Not just in Grand Rapids, but all over the world. Can you pull up TR booking sheet and look at his OTN off? Tracking number equals 33. Wow. No, I can't, but that's crazy. Thank you for teaching me. Best investor, lawyer. Can't wait for my law classes and LSAT. You make my tax homework fun because you're here. Love y'all. BC USA. I see what you did there. If you did it for your humble host. Man, I've had nightmares about going back to law school. It's a lot of reading. Be organized. Candace, episode 285, timestamp 1240, list of evidence provided 1 to 18. CO list 2 and 3 explains why Tyler was in Panguitch. Hope this helps. I just played that tonight. Was your comment before I played that? No. Actually, maybe. Yeah, it might have been. But I played that tonight. Could his SIM have been copied as well? I don't know how all that works. I guess it's possible. I don't know. Baron, you make me burst out laughing while at home and allegedly stifling giggles while working. Allegedly. You're supposed to be working. What are you doing listening? Is there a gunshot residue on Tyler Robinson? I may have missed it. Christ is King indeed. Go Max. I don't know. I don't know whether there was or not. I don't know enough about gunshot residue to know if it would even still be there a couple of 3 days later. So I don't know. Baron, I'm confused. I thought the ring cam was the morning of walking to the scene at 8:09. Shadowgate per Fed Slop. Now these docs say he parked there the next night. How could he park 828 but walk on? So you're talking about the picture that says he was walking by at 8:07 a.m. and we agree that he probably was there after 10 o'clock. So yes, I agree with you. Shadowgate, correct. Per Fed Slop. Now these docs say he parked there the next night. How could he park 828 but walk on? I think what these documents are suggesting is that he was on campus once, left, and then drove back in the middle of the night. That's what it sounds like they're trying to say he did. The man running through tape after the Big Bang on Life of Driving video looks to be wearing a mask. Yeah, we've talked about that. Crystal Ball pointed this out last night. Yeah, we've had people commenting on this for like a week or two now, and I don't know why. I don't understand the point. Have you discussed the man's wearing a mask? Christ is King. No, I have not. I still see people in public in masks sometimes. There's a couple at church that wear masks. It's weird. Weird. B, has Candace ever reached out to Charlie's parents? I'm not going to comment on that. Seems normal since they were so close and traveled the world together. If not, any idea why not? I don't want to bother Charlie's parents. I don't think they want to be involved. Hi, Baron. Awesome opening statement. Thank you. I'm almost certain Candace said Tyler's grandma lived in Panguitch. You are correct. She did say that. Artist. Okay. Give him a listen. Share. Yeah. Thank you. I believe you. I can't pronounce. Iya. Right up, Coach Candace in your alley. Give him a listen. Share. Yeah. Thank you. Not escapee, just kicking it. I wondered if you were going to catch that. I wondered if anyone was going to catch that. Kick off your shoes and relax your feet. Party on down with the escapee, just kicking. Just kicking. Yeah. I am showing my age. What year was that song? That's going to make me feel old. Just kicking it. What year was that? 1993. That song is 33 years old. 33. Guys, I got to tell you something. Barron on his podcast tonight mentioned a song lyric 33 years ago. You could practically hear the devil manifesting in his voice. Made myself cough. Yes, I'm showing my age. Sorry, Victoria. Won't happen again. I would give the benefit of the doubt with one inconsistency, but no darn way with every single one. Yes. She's an honest actor. B sent an email on an issue with TR's text. No one's mentioned about OWO versus UVU subject. It's not helpful. You should just tell me you paid $10. Just tell me what the inconsistency is. Don't tell me you sent me an email. Just tell me here. This is the better place to say it. Just a thought, that old military rifle might not cycle just any ammo. My old Enfield 303 won't cycle new pointy ammo. Good call. What if they aren't done using LT? You mean done using him as an op? That's scary. That means there are more ops in the pipeline. Faithful listener, first-time commenter, your buccal swab commentary made me laugh harder than your education of Joe. Harry Connick Sr. is implicated in the cover-up of youth abuse by former Louisiana priest Dino Sinell. I did not know that about him. That's crazy about Harry Connick Sr. You would think, I like his son. He got the greatest Christmas album of all time. And it's not even close. Not even close. Got horns. It's not even close. The greatest Christmas album of all time. Just hear those sleigh bells. Oh, man. We listen to it every year. I have for decades now. Like literally decades. 2.5 decades we've been listening to that every Christmas. I'm glad I could help you out with the buccal swab. I used to live in Cedar. Panguitch is way up in the mountains. We took day trips for steak. Well worth it. Otherwise, you just stay on I-15 to get from Orem to St. George. I would agree with that. I wonder what he's doing in Panguitch. Was EK wearing a maroon shirt as well on 910? Ooh, I don't know. Blue Cheer's back. Hey, Blue Cheer, I've been missing you. Thank you, Dana Lynn. Thank you. Baron, pray tell, was the DQ torn down? If so, I don't believe so. I don't know why people keep saying that. I have no idea why people keep saying that. I don't know. It's on the map. Still on the map. Actually, you know what? I have please, we'll settle this once. I have a more recent picture of that area. It's going to take me a second to get to it, though. Hold, please. I have aerial photography from a couple of months ago from this area. You guys have no idea what we work on behind the scenes. Let me get it up. Dairy Queen. Orem, Utah. Oh, not that recent. Oh, March 4th, it's still there. Still there on March 4th. There's people standing outside of it. Their cars parked in the parking lot. Still there. I don't know why people are saying it's torn down. I have no idea where that came from. I fight that. TR parallels with NZ Christchurch shooter Tarrant, who was also referenced in Australia court denial of Candace's visa. TR had NZ desktop wallpaper. Tarrant wrote online before, I will see you all in Valhalla. Really? That's interesting. In the items collected, why would they list the 30-06 cartridges specifically, then list boxes of ammunition generically? I love the details. Yes, of course. Good question. Maybe someone used the same car model as Tyler to get caught on camera and then switch the GPS devices from the fake lookalike car to Tyler car. This would allow tracking under Tyler, even though it's not. That's pretty complex, I guess. I don't know. Maybe that's easy. It sounds complex. On vacation, still keeping up when I can. Love your work and show. God bless you. Christ is King and Lord indeed. Want to glorify God. Thank you. Even on vacation. It's only 4 days a week. $1 for every time you said buccal swab. Oh, thank you. You're welcome. You owe more, though. You can ignore my comment about the proof of burnt letter. You got to it. Should have known you would. This is a high IQ outfit. Yes, indeed. Christ is king, indeed. Yes, it's very high IQ here. First, I've heard of a brother. Any details? I believe that's her stepbrother under Larry Ginta. Larry Ginta. Guinta. Ginta. Nobody is going to Dremel anything on a bullet. Alpo slop. Crowder said it sharpied. That's not an engraving. That's a good point. Would you take a Dremel to a bullet? I wouldn't. I dare say, if I'm telling you, if I'm around somebody and they start engraving messages into bullets, not only am I getting out there, I'm calling the police. I'm leaving. I'm just gone. I want nothing to do with that person. That's a verifiable psycho. You might as well have 12 Raspberry Pi devices. I kid. Calm down, Pi people. Pi people. I know who you are. Got my eyes on you, Pi people. Baron, you're like a main character in a TV show. The protagonist we all root for. Thank you. The only reason one. This is only season 1. Your character development has been something to watch. Thank you. I appreciate that. I guess that's a compliment. I guess that could not be a compliment. Oh, you all root for me. Okay, yeah, that's a compliment. If he wasn't dumb, then the security team had to be dumber. Just saying. All after our president, recent comments and tweets, though, anything is possible. Yeah, anything. Play devil's advocate. Ite didn't choose her family, and one can wonder how her childhood contributed to who she is now. MK Ultra robot malfunction. Yeah, I'm concerned that Erika has a past that's tragic. I'm more concerned she knows about it. I don't know. Baron, you deserve every super chat. It means you care about this community. You answer our questions. Who else does that? A few people out there who do it. They do a good job. You aren't attacking anyone. You're holding up a mirror and they don't like the reflection. Oh. Talking about the woman in black. Photo. Search Lance Twiggs, welcome home. Wearing gray Converse with gray laces. Just because evidence was collected doesn't mean it belongs to TR, right? Yeah. Kind of creepy is a teacher is pushing you to run for Miss America. I don't know about that. So Fed Slop time of 8:07, but in reality 10ish. We'll call it 10ish. Shadowcock. Here seen wearing a cap, a red tee, light colored shorts, and Converse tennis shoes. Seen walking towards UVU on camera, but he drove into UVU at 10:28 a.m. No, he drove into UVU at 8:28 a.m. 8:28 a.m. Dairy Queen should do a campaign, justice for Tyler, and proceeds from Blizzard and chicken tendies go to the fund. That's funny. I like that. Lauren, thank you. I know you heard this a ton, so please don't yell. When this case wraps up, I'd love a deep dive on the Karen Reed trial. Why would I yell about that? I don't know much about it. I have to really read up on it. I was obsessed like I am now with CK, and I need my humble host's take. Fellow Nashvilleian. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm not opposed to it. I would have to really research it because I don't know. I only know the name. I don't even know if she was acquitted or convicted. I think she was convicted, right? I know nothing about that case. Baron, been jamming on Out to Hope Please and Good Goy all day and rocking my high IQ t-shirt. Love this high IQ community. Thanks, Ad Fleet. Thank you, Baron. God bless. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. You sound like you're having a great day. You said, why are we fingerprinting the parents to exclude the parents' DNA within the search, which will inevitably show up on Silent Tyler's stuffed car? I think they buccal swabbed the parents, not fingerprint. I think they buccal swabbed them to pronounce it correctly. God bless you, Baron, for all the great work you do. You helped me get through my Candace withdrawals last week. Now I have double addiction. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, Ann Flan can. Ann Flan can make it. My bad. I forgot the K's on the 31. My bad. I have no idea I have no idea. We're looking at George Zen. And what for what? What are we looking into him for? He's a creepy old man who, for some reason, apparently totally unconnected to anything, took full credit for a high-profile political assassination in the immediate seconds afterwards. Have you seen the Illuminati cards? Pictures of all events, including 9/11, Pentagon, every event put out in 1980. No, I'm not seeing those. That's crazy. He has to consent to a buccal swab, or they need a warrant to obtain a DNA swab. And they got one. Receiving gift membership to RBP is like your free taste of drugs. But what a great addiction. I'm subscribed to this great community. Love seeing others on like-minded channels. Congrats to Coach Colin. Christ is King. Yes, congrats. If you did not hear, he is a +1. He and his wife had a beautiful young baby. And I think he posted a picture of it. And it's his 40th birthday. Congrats all around. Christ is King indeed. Thank you, Kelly. Has anyone studied the people wearing maroon in the crowd to see if TR might have been in the audience on that day? Oh, yeah. Yeah, people have. Hi, Baron. I'm feeling like a Joe. Didn't realize Erika has a brother per the article from earlier. How did I miss that fact? So excited. Receive my hold, please mug today. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. You're going to have high IQ beverages, Christy Pickleball. I doubt that's your real last name. I'm right. Yeah, I think it's a stepbrother through Larry Ginta. Baron, memories of Joe come floating back. LOL, crash out. Okay, now we're getting to the crash out comments. I might get scolded here. I'm waiting on it. I don't mean to crash out. I just don't like being policed on what I say. We run a high IQ outfit. I expect people to be high enough IQ to understand the distinction. Thinking of converting to Catholicism. Classes don't intimidate me. I had 3 years of catechism in school. Confession freaks me out. 56 years of sins. Can I say all of them to cover bases? No. Take a notebook. I had 9 years, and it took me 45 minutes. I wanted to be thorough. You guys, I took a notepad. You know those spiral pads that flip over the top? Just filled everything I could possibly think of. I'm like, I'm going in. If I'm doing it, I'm going in. I like both feet into the cold water. I'm just jumping in with my nose plugged. I was in there a long time. My wife was in and out in like 5 minutes. And the whole time I was in there, I could hear her thinking, the hell's going on in there? The word gay used to mean happy. Words can acquire new and or dual meanings over time. You're the bee's knees, Baron. Forget the sand pounders. Oh, that's true. The word gay, they used to mean, it still means happy. We'll have a gay old time. Mikey McCoy is gay. We talked about this. He's bubbly, always happy. Very happy guy. Can I animate your retarded rant, or will that annoy you? Yeah, let's not do it. Found it based, but don't want to step on your toes. Genuinely asking, LOL, love you, Baron. Love you more, Fleet. Yeah, let's not do that one. Let's not do that one. Angie Martin was the woman interviewed alongside Brunson, former 2025 Mrs. Universe Central America, platform child transport, friend of Phil Lyman. Really? I'm putting it on my notes. Where are my notes? There they are. Putting it on my notes. Sorry, guys. Serious business. Hold, please. All right. Angie Martin, 2025 Mrs. Universe, Central America. Central America. She doesn't look Drewish. That's a Spaceballs quote. Child transport. Interesting. TR in on it. Feds told him where to meet, car wash, to go over the plan, told him to get some to eat, meet back at a certain time, promises freedom, could be an Epstein escape. Yeah, or you could just eat the charges and go to death row. I mean, Timothy McVeigh did. Use your mind and stop being emotional. Another excellent high IQ shirt. Oh, that's a good one, actually. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words can never hurt me. My mom always said this, and I think people need to learn it. Thanks, Baron, and Christ is King. Christ is King, indeed. Baron, I love the show. I am a huge problem with the quantum fiber warrant is that a home internet company. Is that it is a home internet company. Why would his Google directions be showing up there instead of his wireless service provider? Well, maybe he's logged in to the same browser, like, and it, I don't know. Maybe. Saw an earlier video last night from the Behavioral Arts showing ABC News altered video, C1830 on video of Charlie Kirk assassin. Doesn't check out. Love your show. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you for that tip. Thank you for that, Melson. C. Melson, if that is your real name. Hi, Baron. Hi, Q Crew. I'm late to the live, so starting at the beginning, since you already at the comments, your work has been superb, Baron. Well, that's high praise indeed. Small correction, he was at Gary Queen getting chicken fingers with special slop sauce and Paramount Blizzard made with real Gary Queen. Now, settle down. 33 hours is 9 a.m., not p.m. The Big Bang didn't happen at midnight. No, that's not true. It was 12:23 p.m. So 12:23 to 12:23 would be 24 hours. Another 9 hours would be 9 p.m. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just math gets quirky. Buckle is pronounced like buckle. No, it's pronounced chowder. Say chowder. I know about them chowder heads. I've had real chowder from up in Chowderville. I went to Nantucket a couple times. I don't know if 2 or 3. I ate chowder everywhere I went. I'm like, hey, I'm here. And some of them pretty good. There's a place called, what was it called? Oh, man. It had the word brothers in it. It had a real diabolical looking logo. But man, their chowder was good. Holy mackerel. Baron feeling like a Joe. How did I miss that Erika has a brother? Is that a well-known fact? Excited to have received my whole please mug today. Wait a minute. Did I already read that? Chrissy Pickleball? Yeah. Ginta. I don't know what a buccal swab is, but it sounds worse than any other swabs. It must reveal something important. That's kind of what I thought about it. Like, oh no, not the buccal swab. Who wants one of those? Stay off my buccal. Macadamia nuts. Hey, Baron. I'm visiting my daughter in Hawaii. I'm going to the Macnut farm this week and would love to send you some. Will you eat them? They will be an original package. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Yeah, of course. I order macadamia nuts by I order big bags of macadamia nuts. Get them off Amazon. And they're still outrageously expensive, but they're relatively affordable compared to the little bitty containers you get for like $15 at the grocery store. This is like a whole bag for $25. They're great. I think they're called Just Nuts or something. First super chat ever. Thank you for not giving in that retarded take. I mean, retarded is basically a term of endearment at times. Can be. I've heard it used that way. Shannon Lee. The word is much like the F word. It has much application. It can be surprise. It could be sad. It can have medical application, scientific application. It can be laughing. It's a varied word. The word. To the person that commented on the retarded comment, I had got a Down syndrome grandbaby. I use it in response to people like you. Don't be a joke. Just saying. Get over it. Wouldn't it be hearsay if that's all that's left is ash? Yeah, I think we talked about that. I think the answer is no. I guess I'm short on feelings. I watched In the Bedroom instead of many different feelings. I just cried all the way through it. Must be my 76 years. Well, that's a feeling. that's a feeling. You need to run the gamut though with it. It's a good movie though, isn't it? Great movie. R.I.P. CK. He was a good guy. Thank you, Baron, for all the work to find the real who. CK deserves that. I think so. I think we all deserve that if something tragic happened. Christ is King indeed, not Trumpy Dumpy. Yes, correct. Baron, on this topic of words, I have 2 essential to me used in my proclaiming that I have sex daily, as in dyslexia. Ironically, the former is the only way I can spell the latter. You could quote me. I am quoting you. I'm quoting you indeed. Banger opening statement. I love the Kentucky blue on you. Not Kentucky blue. I've never worn Kentucky blue. Baron, one possible reason for TR being in Panguitch is that he possibly suspected he was set up as a patsy and headed down US 89 to avoid detection on I-15. Yeah, but then he got on I-15 the next morning, got gas at Cedar City in front of a bunch of cameras, and then drove all the way home down I-15. But that doesn't make sense to me. You're gassing Panguitch. What a great name of a town. Panguitch. It sounds like a penguin and a sandwich mixed. It's like a penguin sandwich. You know, like a chicken sandwich, but it's a penguin. It's both foul. It's a panguitch. What are you eating? I'm eating a panguitch. What do you put on your panguitch? You put cheese on your panguitch? Oh, you sicko. What are you talking about? Ruins the texture of the penguin. There's salt, pepper, tomato, lettuce, onion, red onion, not sweet onion on the panguitch. No way. Sweet onion would mess up the penguin taste on my panguitch. All of a sudden, I'm craving a panguitch. I can't get enough panguitch. Oh, that's great. Justice for Cowtails candy. They are delicious. That's a quote. That's not my quote. Not that this is worth much, but EK did say in an early view, it's not like he died in a car accident. My husband was shot on live TV. Freudian slip, perhaps? Regret with the plan they chose? I don't know. Not sure if you've answered this, but did you notice the pictures the police used of Zach Patsy weren't actually him? I found that interesting. The Zach Patsy. Zachariah Qureshi? No, they were him. I've not seen any pictures of him. I just saw pictures of him in the crowd. I'd have to check into that. I don't know what you're talking about. Watching from UK, it's nearly 3 a.m. Worth it. Thank you, Jitterbug GM. Thank you for watching late in the UK. I have a Vantru dash cam. Interior camera is physically adjustable enough to not record video. Its settings may disable interior voice recording. Oh, interesting. Prayers for Candace with broken foot. Yeah, I was at her house last week and she was hobbling around on a boot. I was like, "What the hell happened to you?" And so she reenacted the fall. She walked over where she fell and she's like, "See that?" She's like, and I was down. I was like, "Well, wear shoes that fit, you know, that way you don't trip on the toes." I felt bad for her. Looked like a bad break too. Looked like a bad break. OCD is a severe disability that myself and my kids deal with. It's joked about often. Just had an OCD moment. People need to get over it and stop policing speech. It's that word. Yeah, I know someone very close to me who's diagnosed OCD. It can be paralyzing at times. Absolutely. Particularly when she was younger. So yeah, people say it. I mean, if anyone's let me say this, if anyone's attacking handicapped people, they're monsters. They're monsters. Period. End of story. I just don't agree with that. My son could not give permission to search others' bedrooms, only his. They did not have a warrant. Yeah. I think they probably are going to rest on the fact that he shared a bedroom, if I had to guess. Been trying to catch up on your show. Fell behind during Easter. Finally caught up now, but I have a persistent Southern drawl from hours of listening. Family keeps looking at me funny. Totally worth it. Do I sound Southern? I don't think so. Now, I will say this. I do get very Southern sounding the more Southern person I'm around. That happens a lot. That happens a whole lot. In fact, there was a clip of me on the Steve Flowers show. I can't remember what the show was called. Alabama Politics, I think is what he called it. And man, I sounded like Foghorn Leghorn. And I went back and listened to it. I was like, why were you talking like that? But he sounds like that. And I guess it just, you sort of adapt it, like a chameleon. Shabbat Shalom, the assassin's home. I'm dying. Also, don't pay for any subs, but I do now. Only one. Thank you for being a blessing to us all. Christ is King. Christ is King indeed. Thank you. Yeah, well, Baron, there's a time for rebuke, and yours was not personal to the speech police earlier. You do not know her, but to the larger culture of trying to restrict words to restrict speech overall. That's correct. I wasn't attacking her. I'm just so sick of people trying to restrict speech every time you turn around. Like, let me talk. I'm sure you say things I don't like. Probably hold a political position I don't like or whatever. Whatever. Baron, first super chat. Well, second one, since sent the first one, no message. I agree with another chatter. Love the Dodger Blue. Go Dodgers. Christ is King indeed. That's a sore subject for me after the NLCS a few years ago. Agape Balloon Creations Carla Rink. That's a really long username. Cuddling my 2-month-old and my sick 5-year-old on this rainy Minnesota night. Just found out my grandma has a mass and things look grim. Seeking positivity from this high IQ outfit. The show always brightens my night. Missy Mel, sometimes Melissa. I'm sorry to hear you going through all that. But you've got a good community here. Look after you. Off subject, but thoughts on Frank Turek being the one trying to jump out of the vehicle. Reality forced on him during the ride. Opening on Harvey Updike Jr.? Just kidding. That's a sore subject, Harvey Updike Jr. with his Spike SD80. You know what's funny? I was listening to that show when he called in. I used to listen to Feinbaum all the time. And I was listening to it, and this lunatic called in. He was like, after the Alabama game, I took some Spike SD80. Nah, go kill them trees. There's nothing they can do to save them. I thought, what a psycho. I bet he really didn't do that. No, he did. He did. What did he say his name was? It was like Sam from Alex City or something. Can't remember what he said his name was. That's funny. St. Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our protection against the wickedness and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him, we humbly pray. And do thou, O Prince of the heavenly hosts, by the power of God, cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits who prowl throughout the world, seeking the ruin of souls. Mrs. Coleman and I say that every night. Thank you for that. I'm retarded. I approve this message. Oh, I wouldn't admit that. It's a high IQ outfit. Sorry, I realized I messed up my date. Still trying to figure out when Tyler was supposedly at house waiting to meet Lance on the evening of the 10th. Yeah, that's where. That's okay. All forgiven in love and war. Whatever happened to Lance T? He had any contact with his beloved? I don't know. He's in Texas. I know that. I know where he is. I got pictures of his house. And the cars coming and going. Should I say that? Am I allowed to say that out loud? Catholic mom of 11. The one with Down syndrome. Big fan, but disappointed by rant over R word. You might benefit from understanding the DS community's advocacy for ending the callous use of the R word. Empathy is king. I have empathy for people that have children with Down syndrome, and well, not really for them. They seem like the happiest people I've ever met. We used to have one in our youth group years ago. Her name, I don't want to say her name. She had a nickname she went by. And I never saw her anything but the most elated human. She was the most positive, kind, loving, genuine human being I've ever encountered. And that's been my experience with every person with Down syndrome. In fact, when I was a lawyer, a puppy lawyer, I had a client. We represented an insurance company. This guy had done something that needed a lawyer through his insurance company. And so I represented him, and I went down to interview him. And this guy had never had a bad day. Never had a bad day. And I thought, what a life. Like, this guy loves everybody. He loves everything. I've never been around anybody so positive and happy in my entire life. I'm not trying. It's not a lack of empathy. I can't empathize because I'm not in that situation, but it's not a lack of sympathy. It's a frustration with the fact that words are being policed and we don't like it, but then we still have our favorite words we want to police, and that you can't hold that position. If we don't want to police these words, we can't police any words, because otherwise our concerns are as valid as these people's concerns. And now all of a sudden the language we're allowed to use starts getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Everyone has to recognize that no one is attacking handicapped people at all, or people with any kind of disability, condition, Down syndrome, whatever you want to call it. I know you're not allowed to say disability or handicap anymore. And again, that's policing words. And I don't like it. I'm sorry. It's not a lack of compassion at all. It's a lack of, it's a growing frustration with society putting restrictions on what everyone can say. And it's frustrating. Wouldn't let me send a super. Another great show. Love the format with the opening statement, history lesson, then tie to the current events and then the community building. It's a beautiful thing. It is a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Did Dana just confirm 5 to 6 p.m. arrest? Well, again, depending on whether it was Friday or Thursday, she used 9/11, but she used 9/12. I mean, but Friday, which was 9/12. So I got to get some clarity on that. I'd like to talk to her about that. TR not stupid, unlike Erika Suma claim. No, that was just a lie, I believe, in my opinion. TR is keeping his quick quack queen. I tend to agree. Has anyone spoken to Charlie's parents? Could they know some? I don't want to get into his parents. I think they want to be left alone, and they've lost a child in the most tragic fashion imaginable. And I think I respect their right to just not be known, not be talked to, not be talked about. See red lines on CK's body on Candace episode 311 Farnsworth video 2932, 39 at 3x speed, 0.3 speed through UVEX blue block glasses available on Amazon. Please share with John Bray. Electrocution saw on Android. I have that video. Blue block glasses? Blue blockers? I remember when they used to sell blue blockers on, when you're little and there were only a few channels and there was no internet. You just had to watch whatever was on. And after a certain hour, it was like commercials. That's all they played. And they used to have this, I think they called them infomercial. They had this like 30-minute blue blocker infomercial. And I can't tell you how badly I wanted blue blockers. Like I was a sucker for that stuff. Wow. Blue blockers solve everything in your life. It's amazing. Unbelievable. But nah, yeah. I'll check it out. Trend says quick quack Israel, August 16 to 23, 25. Screenshot it. Probably gone by tomorrow. I'll look at it real quick. Trends.google.com. Quick quack. Did you use quotes? Because otherwise you're going to get anything that says quick and quack. Oh, lots of searching for the quick quack today. Maybe people trying to get a clean car. Clean up their vessel. Oh, there was a quick quack search a few hours ago. That's kind of creepy. From our greatest ally. Let's see here. 2025, you say? I'm not seeing it on the 1 year. Maybe if I do a custom date. We'll start, what'd you say, August? So we'll start 08-01-25 or slash, I guess. 208-31-2025 or slash rather. All right, let's try it. See what we get here. I don't see it. I got nothing, Jerry. I'm wondering if you did it without quotes. Let me try it without quotes and see. I don't even see it without quotes. I'd have to check into that. Quick quack, Orem, Utah. Oh, I have to search the Orem, Utah thing. With cell phone warrants and other digital evidences, is the defense allowed to subpoena defense evidence like that, or is it just the government that can do that? Well, the defense cannot issue warrants. They could issue a subpoena, I guess. As a baseball and CFB nut, I love listening to your sports stories. Hoping my Ags get out of their own way this year. Christ is king indeed. They had a good year last year in football. Gifted 5 membos. 5 membos. If that is TY at the quick quack 725, then why map it unless that goes to framing? That's a good question. A good question. I wouldn't think it's them. Can TR parents not talk if they're subject to gag order? They wouldn't be subject because they weren't there. They would be able to talk. Edge, the car towing video circulated early on. I don't recall who posted it. Daisy can find it. I've seen the video. But thank you. Shawnee's back. Shawnee, I've missed you. How was Lent? You must be Orthodox. You didn't show up until after the Orthodox Easter. Tell the critics, Shawnee says begging won't get it. You have to do the hard work. Have to bring content worthy of investment in members' time and money. Oh, man. You're right, Shawnee. You're right. Thank you for that. You are always so kind. So kind. Man, you know, we had like an APB for Shawnee for a few weeks. We forgot you went on Lent, and everyone's like, where's Shawnee? So thank you. Thank you for checking in. And unbelievably, thank you for your generosity. That's incredible. Thank you. The part that makes me most upset about the new Trump is how he finally made me have to agree with liberals. Yeah. TR's car towed 6 p.m., 9/12, parents' house. Proof. I believe that. There were 2 Dairy Queens. One was torn down. Not sure which one Tyler Robinson went to. I think he went to the one I just looked at. I'm not sure, though. I'll have to check the other one. I have to differ about the single greatest play in football history, but it was the single worst 1 second of my life. I bet I'll never forget that game because Auburn fans won't let me. I love the AU-UA rivalry. So the second greatest play, oh, you guys can't see it. It's off screen. The Indiana National Championship, Miami, when quarterback drops back and then takes off for the end zone and he, boom, gets plowed by a linebacker or safety or something, and boom, gets busted as he's going into the end zone. That's my Facebook profile picture, or my Facebook cover picture is him leaping into the end zone. What a beautiful play that was. What a great game. That's great. I'm thinking I heard the DQ was across from the other university in the area, BYU maybe. It was supposedly scrubbed on the inside, then demolished. Why would he have been down there? Trigger smart frame by frame. Seems the man on the roof hangs off by likely dominant hand. Left, holds towel weapon with left hand is running away. Do we know if Tyler Robinson's a lefty? No, we don't. I'm always amazed that he's hanging. I'm not joking. This guy is hanging, can't see my hand, by his fingertips, 15 feet in the air, swinging through the air. It's amazing. I couldn't do that. Please say quick quack 3 times real fast. Christ is king. I don't perform on command. Quick quack, quick quack, quick quack. Maybe I do. Both my mom and dad passed the week before Easter. They were together with Jesus on Easter. That's both sad and beautiful at the same time, Charlotte. So that reminds me of a great song. It's called If We Were Vampires. I don't know if I've ever mentioned that on this show or not. It's one of my very favorite songs. Guy named Jason Isbell. Used to be in the Drive-By Truckers. Now he's solo. But it's about a young couple. And he's saying, and the point of the song is, if we were vampires, we wouldn't die, so I wouldn't worry about time being an urgency and really investing in you. But we're not, and one of us is probably going to have to do it alone when the other one's gone. And it's such a unbelievable song, If We Were Vampires by Jason Isbell. I challenge you to listen to it without crying. Even if you've never lost anyone you love, challenge you to listen to it without crying. It's amazing, amazing song. One of my very, very favorite songs. And I've thought about that, and I thought, man, the way to go is like, 92 years old holding hands, and you just both kind of, and it doesn't work out that way very often. But it sounds like for your mom and dad it did, and so it's both tragic and beautiful. Thanks for sharing that. Thought about this for a while, but EL might be trafficked child herself. Who's EL? Oh, EK? Doesn't know who her real parents. Who knows? Christ is king indeed. Also, Karen Reed was found not guilty at the second trial. Kenton is corrupt and got caught. Interesting. Have to look into that more. As to the first part, I have to feel like there's something in her past that's tragic. You don't just act like that if you had a normal upbringing. I think there was a second DQ in Orem. That George guy did a video outside one saying it was being closed down after Tyler went there. If that's the one, I don't know. And George Zinn is listed giving character reference on Phil Lyman's website. Like, that's a good thing for Phil. I was told that was added after the fact as kind of like a ploy, that if you pull it on the Wayback Machine, it's not there. But admittedly, I've never done that. El Rey Baron, the king, you say. Your pronunciation of Buchel is no. It's correct. It's high IQ. High IQ. I'm not even trying to get me to use the R word. Get me in trouble with people already mad at me. HMFOG, thank you for all you do. Oh, Hail Mary, full of grace. Okay. I was like, what does that mean? Christ is king indeed. I was so confused. B, tell him high IQ outfit. I have it copyrighted. Yeah, it is. I can hear Adfleet and your penguiches. Oh, I didn't think about that. I would have kept going on the penguiches. Oh man. See, I need to think about Adfleet listening. I need to think about Adfleet. My middle name is Gay. There you go. Blue-eyed hillbilly. Oh. Remo, thank you. Now, I know some female gays. Yeah. It's a real name. For banning the speech police. Love you and your high IQ outfit. Christ is king. Christ is king indeed. And thank you. Thank you, honey. That's a very, very kind. Very, very. Do you have to type in SV9TL every time? I would forget that. You were pronouncing it correct. Thank you. Nurse educator, allied health laboratory educator, buccal mucosa. Okay. You please do a session on Smith Munts and the removal of it by Obama. Our government can now do psyops on us. We've mentioned it before. Let me do a little pronounced buccal from Google just to make sure. See if they've even gotten to Google, right? Uh-oh. Google doesn't know what they're talking about. Google doesn't know what they're talking about. Google's so wrong. I don't even know why they put this Fed slop on the internet. You see that?
Buckle.
Oh, gosh. It's Fed slop.
Buckle.
No, that's not it. It's buccal.
Buckle.
Oh, my gosh. This is a disaster. This is an absolute disaster. They've even gotten to Google. They're everywhere. Satanic. Next, you're going to tell me Larry Bird wore 33 for a reason. Would you consider or think relative to do an opening statement about the Karen Reed case? Yeah, we were just talking about it. I was enthralled during her second trial and so relieved she was quit at the end. We've talked about it. Angie Martin is related to Darren Brunson. Angie Martin is with Stand Up Against Tyranny and Mrs. Universe. Police, transportation, both typed with Phil L. Email sent. You don't need to send an email. You just told me everything you need to know. My cousin lives in Seaville and has a slight Southern accent. To me, sometimes I wonder if I hear you speak a bit Southern or if you do it on purpose. Still your best AK supporter. Have a fabulous evening. Christ is king indeed. There's no Southern accent here. No Southern accent detected. Wonder if there's an AI for that. If you can talk and it'll tell you where you're from. You from the South, boy. I tell it. You from the South. I'm glad to know I've got the best Alaska supporter listening. Get out my buccal. Let me talk. First super chat to anyone ever potentially low IQ to pronounce buccal as buccal. It's pronounced buckle. Love your work, brother. Jesus is Lord. No. I hate to tell you. You're not going to pull that Google Fed slop psyop on me. You think we were lied to about the Oklahoma City bombing? Well, we've been lied to about how buccal is pronounced. What do you think? Anniversary's coming up. Got me thinking. Yes, of course we were lied to. If they'll tell you it's pronounced buckle, they'll tell you anything. These people will lie to you about anything. Nothing's off limits with these people. Speaking of it being so dumb that it's dangerous, you remind me of former roommate who wondered if she could turn the foil wrapper on her food inside out to make it safe to heat up in the microwave. No, now you're just saying stuff. You can't convince me of that. Is there a little part of you that hopes to get a call to be on TR's defense team so that you could personally interview Tyler Robinson? No. I mean, I would love to interview Tyler Robinson journalistically, but not as a defense lawyer. No. Never mind. George Webb was at the dismantled Dairy Queen in Provo. Yeah, I mean, if he was at if Tyler Robinson was at the Dairy Queen in Provo, there's a high likelihood it's dismantled. But I don't recall that. So Fed Slop Time 8:07 puts Tyler Robinson walking towards UVU campus. Yet on camera, he parked at 8:28, but in reality, he's walking towards UVU 10ish. Yeah, I think you got that right. Hide your kids, hide your wife. They're out here buccal swapping everybody. That guy got rich off that. You know that? What was his name? Antoine. Oh, what was his name? Antoine. Hide your kids. Antoine Dodson. Oh, yeah, he got rich off that. That's great. I'm happy for him. Love your show. You always make me smile with your contagious laugh. Well, thank you, Christy Sabatini. You make me smile with your comments. I'm laughing because you changed the name of our greatest ally in the JE files names because you YouTube policing our words. I look forward to each show. Well, yeah, but that's different. That's me protesting the policing. At the car wash. At the car wash. Yeah, that's a good song. As Seinfeld said, there's not anything wrong with that. No, there's not. Nothing wrong with that. B, I agree with your stance on policing language, and this is not me policing your words. You just said when I was a puppy lawyer, and I heard when I was a furry lawyer. I was not a furry lawyer. I want to correct the record for anyone who heard that incorrectly as well. I was not a furry lawyer. I did happen on a furry convention once in I think it was in Orange County, California. I was there to meet with a legal defense team that was working on a case in Kansas. I don't know why we were in California. We were very successful in that case, but we were meeting, and there were 2 or 3 lawyers, a couple of investigators there, and we were staying at this hotel in Orange County. I think it was Irvine in Orange County, for whatever reason that's coming to my mind. But we were in this hotel, I think in Irvine. It was a big hotel, had a convention, like a conference center in it, like a ballroom type setup. There were furries everywhere. And I mean everywhere. Like I went to the bar and I thought I was like someone slipped me some acid. What is happening here? Some of them were holding their heads. I'm like, put it down. Put the head down. I thought I was like at a mascot convention at first. I thought, was this like the college football mascots? And I'm looking around like, no, there's no unicorns in the NFL. The coolest one I saw, the guy was not only a furry on the head and the body, but he had like, he was a like a mastodon. Is that what I'm thinking of? Like a big elephant with the tusks. He had the big tusks coming out, and he would walk on these things, and it looked like he was walking on all fours. He had these like real long, stiff things on his arms, and he would lean over, and he had this like, it was the craziest experience of my life. Holding their heads. Grin and bearing it. Yes, that's correct. I love being gay. As in happy. Don't be that word. I don't want to rub it in. Would you use it when it's appropriate? Use it when it's appropriate. King Baron, did you get my super chat yesterday about Chief Rabbi of Israel's letter 9225? If no, please Google that. Condolences predate CK death. Claim typo not possess. Because 92. Thank you for all you do. Christ is king. Yeah, I'm aware of what you're talking about. I'm aware of it. B has his own cognitive dissonance about buccal pronunciation. Oh no. Am I falling trapped to a classical psychological condition? This is the worst news I've heard all day. Oh, I'm doomed. Jail right now from Pensacola here. Or jail RN, I guess. Registered nurse from Pensacola here. You are pronouncing it correctly. Any LEO can confirm that as well. Take those DNA swabs frequently. Thank you. A buccal swab. And I can't tell if you're gaslighting me. Because Google disagreed, but we know they've gotten to Google. Did you ask Mr. Farmer if he'd be up for an interview? Not yet. I do plan. I have an opportunity, I believe, coming up. I want to ask him. I don't want him to be able to like get out of it. I want to trap him. I've worked with some of the world's top oral surgeons for the past 13 years. Buccal is referenced several times a day. It's pronounced buckle. They can convince anybody of anything, can't they? Good man, Baron, wearing the color of royalty today. Oh, blue. Yeah, some priests, instead of wearing purple, they'll wear blue. There's a word for it. I can't remember the word for it. But, like a lot of them wear purple. I think they call them violet. They wear violet in the weeks leading up to Easter and the weeks leading up to Christmas. They wear violet. And some of them wear blue, and they're beautiful when you see it. Oh, man, they're gorgeous. Gorgeous vestments. Epic show. You crack me up, Baron. Night. God bless. God bless you. Baron got my high IQ outfit t-shirt today. You, Daisy and Mrs. Coleman, are amazing. Amazing indeed. I'm just kidding. I would never say that about myself. It's pronounced buckle, like the oh, sorry. I'm going to the grumblers now. It's pronounced buckle, like the buckle in your pants. I used to work for a dentist. That's what you think. Raspberry Pi device sounds like the newest scent from Bath and Body Works. Delicious smelling for the odd ducklings who own them. I'm so glad I have no idea what that device is. Hey, I'll tell you a Bath and Body Works story. So in the mall around here, there's a mall near me. And they used to have a Bath and Body Works store just off the food court. And it was right before you went to the restroom. So if you ever had to go to the restroom in the mall, you had to pass the Bath and Body Works. It's called Cool Springs Mall. I don't know if you've ever been there. It's a nice mall. But you had to pass the Bath and Body Works. And so my wife and I were at the mall in the last few months. I don't remember what we were doing there. We were there for some reason. And I don't go often, so you would think I'd remember why we were there, but I don't. But we walked by the old Bath and Body Works, and it's something like a hat store or something now. But we walked by, and I was like, hey, there used to be a Bath and Body Works store there, and you got assaulted with all their scents every time you went to the bathroom. She said, I know. I said, well, how did you know that? She goes, do you know how many times you told me that? No, apparently not. Apparently I need to shut my mouth and stop telling stories. Maybe you have a wash. Maybe you have to wash your furry costume at a car wash. He's very sanitary. I don't think he was the furry, though, was he? Does that mean it was Lance in the car? Is this the evidence? He's spraying down his teddy bear suit. Early on, I remember George Webb showing a store that was shut down. I have Google searches that showed its permanent close online with people leaving reviews that said this is where TR went. I mean, I believe all of that is true. I just don't know whether that is the one he went to. I was always under the impression he went to the one towards the cemetery, but I could be wrong. I'm willing to be wrong. I've been wrong before. It'll probably happen again. Guys, you know what time it is? Oh, well, not yet. Hold on. Who else works with EK as handlers? I don't know. New Braunfels' mascot is the unicorn. I believe that about New Braunfels. Mighty B, did you know you have a 100% like ratio at the moment? I believe this is not the first time either. Thank you for another exceptional episode. Well, it's down now. It's 99.6 now. Maybe they rounded up. Yeah. Thank you guys. Very generous with the likes tonight. Appreciate you tuning in. Baron, you're awesome, but tell me why the FBI was even involved. All happened in Utah. Your guess is as good as mine. They were there 16 minutes after it happened. Draw your own conclusions. Sometimes I just put the slop out there and you guys can eat it up. Guys, it's that time. It's that time. We've made it through another wonderful episode. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you for joining me. Each and every night that we're on, I will not be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's a night off, and I have a meeting tomorrow night, so I won't be able to be here. And even if I wanted to be, I couldn't be here. Very important meeting. Serious business, folks. Serious business. But I got a meeting tomorrow night, so I won't be here. I will be here Wednesday and Thursday. We will have a member show Friday. I got a good show lined up for you Friday as well. So that'll be a fun member show. If you're not a member, you got a chance between now and then to join. I try to put some effort into those, make them fun. But don't forget to like and subscribe, click the notification button, and share with your friends and family. Word of mouth always helps. And when we get bogged down by the YouTube algorithmic war, your likes, your subscribes, they help overcome that. So thank you. I think we were over 269,000 subscribers. That's unbelievable. Like that number boggles my mind. A year ago, I was like at 250. Not 1,000, 250 subscribers total. And people would tune in and watch my weekly podcast, like 10 of them. So thank you. Things can grow quick on YouTube. And it's all thanks to you. We built a great community here, and you guys have done a great job with it. Thank you, Grumblers. Use Spotify. Spotify's been a wonderful partner for this program. If you are on Spotify and you ever miss a show and you want to watch it, you can watch it there. We usually post them the next morning around 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. They're kind of YouTube, Rumble exclusive until 8 or 9 in the morning. And then 8 or 9 Central Time, they go up on Spotify. You can watch it there as well. But here's the key. And I need you guys to know this. Please don't ever forget. Jesus loves you. And I will be back. I will be back Wednesday, not tomorrow. Don't ask me on X if I'm going to be here tomorrow, because the answer will be no. I'll be here Wednesday. And I hope to see you here. Probably around the same time, 6-ish, 5-ish, 6-ish, 7-ish, somewhere in there. Have a good weekend. Have a good night. Not a good weekend. It's only Monday. Have a good night, everybody, and we'll talk to you soon.